Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with Tru Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching Tru Heel Heat podcast.
All right, hello, Tru Heel Heat. I'm the AEW World Champion MJF. Just in case you're deaf, dumb, blind, stupid, or since you listen to this podcast poor, you're listening to Tru Heel Heat, and I apologize for that.
Rob Van Dam, listen to Tru Heel Heat. Pow.
What's up, Tru Heel Heat? Tru Heel Heat.
What's up? Tru Heel Heat.
It's Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for some Tru Heel Heat, and we had a very busy week in the pro wrestling world, starting from last Saturday with the double shows, WWE AAA World Collide, as well as WWE Money in the Bank 2025 with R-Truth making a miraculous return after 1 week away from the company. Was it all part of the show? Was it all a work? Was it all a shoot? We'll talk about everything from the fallout from that. Over in the AEW verse, you had AEW Summer Blockbuster with a lot going on the road to All in Texas. And we asked the question, should Okada and Omega 5 headline AEW All in Texas when we talk about the ticket sales that's gone on since the match was announced? We also had in WWE CM Punk decided to be a hypocrite to a lot of people by going to Saudi Arabia to verse John Cena. Gunther is your new World Heavyweight Champion, and what does that mean for Jey Uso's future? We got a lot to discuss. This is the Tru Heel Heat flagship podcast. Grab your plates. The Saturday morning cookout is on. Hit the intro. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the Tru Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for Tru Heel Heat 333. The truth shall set you free. Discussing the latest wrestling news, including everything you need to know about Raw and R-Truth killings, return to WWE. You also got if Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada should headline AEW All in Texas after ticket sales increase. A recap of this week in wrestling featuring WWE World Collide with Mr. Iguana's popularity soaring. WWE Money in the Bank with R-Truth's WWE return. SmackDown last night with Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton advancing in the King of the Ring tournament. Raw on Netflix with CM Punk challenging John Cena for Night of Champions, and Gunther defeating Jey Uso to win the World Heavyweight title. NXT with Mariah May's new name being revealed. WWE Evolve, AEW Dynamite, and Collision Summer Blockbuster with Swerve and Ospreay 2, a fantastic 30-minute battle, and Kazuchika Okada joining forces with Don Callis to destroy Kenny Omega. ROH TV, TNA IMPACT. Plus, we got final predictions for NJPW Dominion coming up tomorrow morning from Osaka Joe Hall. And no Miss Chrissy Love, no princess of all the true hears to be very spicy on this show, but we got two spicy individuals who are always unfiltered on a Saturday morning. First up, we got the True Draw himself. Josh, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I was like, oh shit, sorry, I was running late, but glad I'm technically on time, I guess.
Muted, sir.
Oh, Steady, you're muted.
I was like, oh, my bad. I have to mute myself because I have a lot of sound background with this new mic. But no, I came on late. Johnny was here, the first one to be here early, our producer. But I came late and we were shooting the shit and waited for somebody else to show up. So Baby Seth didn't have to be on the show 2 weeks in a row. So it's okay. It's okay. We did a longer intro, so everybody was here on time, including the person who is here only once a month, our Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns of the channel, Top Guy JJ. Well, on Saturdays. Tuesdays, he's been very consistent. Top Guy JJ, how are you doing?
Full-time Tru Heel Heat member, full-time Rated Raw Superstars member. So I kind of got like a time and a half schedule almost on this channel right now, but it's good. It's good. Feel good. Calm down from the stress of last night because, boy, crazy episode of SmackDown, and what a fucking game 4 last night of the NBA Finals. My OKC showed some fucking grit and looked like we were down for the count. And you see how karma comes back to you when you do that? When you do that, and then one of your players misses like 3 free throws in a row and just helps us seal victories. And then that man Butter, Shea Butter, MVP. Woo! We feeling good this morning.
Well, to be fair, did he do the choke symbol to y'all, or are you talking about when he did it to the Knicks?
But I'm just saying.
No, no, he didn't do it to y'all. No, that's not karma. That can't be
like,
karma. Karma only comes.
You
from
don't
the
do
team
that in a fucking non-championship scenario, bro. Like, you did that shit.
Reggie Miller did it in a non-championship situation,
and that's why Reggie Miller's a non-champion to this day.
I mean, to be fair, he's a non-champion because he ran into the 2000 Los Angeles Lakers when Shaquille O'Neal was a dominant. He was a dominant individual at that time. If he, I don't know. We gotta go revisionist history on that. But no, I'm happy for the Thunder because man, your co-Thunder fan that I do shows with, Jeremy Lambert, he's been going through it. He was stretched after game 3. My nephew, who was arguing with me before this series started, when I was like, he was like, "Oh, it's gonna be a sweep. The Thunder's gonna sweep the Pacers," and I was like, "No, they're not." I was like,
"The same Jeremy Lambert that's a Steelers fan is a Thunder fan too."
When is Jeremy Lambert?
Am I getting it wrong? I'm probably getting. Thank God I'm getting the wrong person. Thank God. Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Not Jeremy. That's not Jeremy. Jeremy's definitely not a Steelers fan.
Okay. Cool.
I'm talking about Jeremy Lambert from Fightful.
All right,
We've had him on the channel a few times.
That name just sounded familiar. I was like, man, I got partially like this guy.
No, Jeremy's a good brother. He's the most pessimistic sports fan in the world. So he was going through it after game 3. My nephew totally flipped the script on me because I told him before the series, I was like, "You're sleeping on the Pacers way too much. The Pacers are definitely going to win a game in this series." I was like, the Thunder are known for having big leads and taking their foot off the gas. And that's what happened in the 2 games that the Pacers won, is that they had leads and they took their foot off the gas, and the Pacers just don't know how to miss usually in those clutch situations. So y'all were due. Because my nephew was talking about, "Oh, the Thunder can't win a close game now. Yeah, they're definitely going to lose now. I think they would have lost to Dallas if Dallas didn't blow them." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You're too young. You're too young."
I mean, yeah. That's conversations I was having with my kind of with my brother, honestly, to be fair, some nonsensical conversations that had nothing to do with certain games, and I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about right now? But I was ready to lose my shit if this man Mark Dayton did not take this motherfucker Cason Wallace out of the lineup.
Me and Jeremy been talking about that.
Crash, bro.
He was so stupid to put him in the starting lineup in the first place. He's been awful in this series. Why did he switch the lineup that's made y'all this dominant force? He tried to be, he's like, "Oh, I'm one step ahead. I'm gonna switch up the line." No, don't do that. Just go with what's working for you. And that's totally brought up, messed up the vibes of the team heading into the series.
Use the term, "if it ain't broke, don't fix it." It was the best. It was the best in the league. And you decided to fucking try to change something, and the shit became broken. The man brought nothing. That's literally I don't know, who you think is a good player on your bench. But I had 3 guys that I was like, we could start over him if we want to try some experimental shit. He was the 5th option for me. And I said, hey, all ain't lost. Thank God. We're going back to OKC tied up. And I think we're going to beat the brakes off of him on Monday. But I do think it's going to be a scary game 6.
It's gonna be a dogfight game 5 even, because the Pacers have not lost 2 games in a row in like 3 months.
That's true. That's true.
It's insane.
What a final.
That's an insane stat.
What a
Yeah,
final.
people were sleeping on this final. People were like, "Oh, this is gonna be one of the most boring finals of all time." And I'm like, no, these teams actually match up better than any other team that would have made a matchup in the NBA Finals. Like, I knew this finals would be good, and it's been.
If anybody
great.
watches, like, this is as close to like old school basketball as you're gonna get. Like, with how physical this series has been, it's like, whoa, like every play, like they're hacking each other like every single play. And it's like they're forcing the refs to use their whistles, bro. Like,
and the refs ain't using their whistle. Tyrese Halliburton, the second biggest star in the series, got his first free throws of the series.
He was like, they called the foul. He said they called. Like he hit his first free throw and looked up and said, "Thank God." I was like, I ain't gonna lie, that was kind of funny. And I was like, that was kind of cool, but. It's been a really good series. If you haven't watched it, I know most people are not OKC or Indiana Pacers fans. I'm sorry for taking up too much of your time, but I don't care. I'm
a basketball fan. Everybody knows that. I'm a basketball fan. So I love basketball, and the other reason I'm watching is because the one thing that I love more about basketball than my Lakers winning is me being right. And I called I told you on Rated Raw Review, I call Oklahoma City winning this year I think this was in August. In August, I called it. So I need to be right. I'm two wins away from being right.
Hey, listen, I'll be with you being right. Let's go. So good night Friday night, and actually not a bad Friday night SmackDown. So I can't complain at all. I said not bad. Compared to,
I think there's some people that would call it bad.
Yo, this is literally the worst show on professional wrestling platforms right now. This is the worst show, period. Like, SmackDown is bottom tier. You can't even see how low it is based on where my hand's at on. It's bottom tier, and for it to have been like bad. It's an upgrade for them.
He's like 5 out of 10. Ain't that bad. We got Volop in the chat with us. Good to see a bunch of people already commenting. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. 18 minutes in, I'm giving out the pleasantries. Appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Either way, show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. Let's drop the thumbs up on the video. Let's help us out, help out the YouTube algorithms, and drop the thumbs up. You can share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the Tru Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you here. You could also comment down below and let us know what you thought about this week in pro wrestling and anything that we discussed during the show. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here and you're with us live, you can send a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. Volop in the chat saying 330, 330, 330, 333, 333. Excuse me, 333, 333. Tru Heel Heat party, Tru Heel Heat. It's in the beat of BTE theme. How's it going, THH fam? We also got Vala with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, Vala, for the support. He says, I say this every time a big show happens in Japan, but fuck whatever is going on in the West. I'm only tuned in to Dominion. I can't wait for tomorrow morning show. Dominion, one of the biggest NJPW shows of the year. We also got Eric Isaac in the chat saying, hello, THH fam. What another wild week of wrestling. And last night, Cena simply couldn't handle the truth. Aha. I know I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews on the CM Punk promo, so when we get to SmackDown, we'll talk about that from last night's Friday Night SmackDown. We got Zach with us. We got Reginald Vell Johnson, aka Carl Winslow, in the chat. Thanks for joining us, Officer Winslow. We got Blood Money in the chat who says, "Hey, have you SB3? Have you seen Hikuleo Dark Match at WWE on social media?" No, I just laughed at the fact that a lot of people thought that Hikuleo was gonna debut on SmackDown last night and not be in a dark match. I just laughed. I was like, you got him off the shelf, but he's in a dark match. Never cease to amaze me. Hopefully he debuts on next week's SmackDown. We got Blood Money also says, will you swear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God, indeed. He also says Rikishi continue to crash out on his podcast. I was laughing. Did you see the Rikishi rant? The Rikishi rant was so hilarious. I loved every minute of it. Him crashing out over the treatment of his family that have been at the top of WWE for the past better part of 5, 6, 7 years.
These niggas basically ran the company for half a decade, bro. They ran the company for half a decade, and this man is crying because his son lost the highest honor of the company. Oh my God, they're treating them so bad. Bro, shut up. Like, you know how many of these other athletes got parents and they never see them hit the light of day? These motherfuckers live on main event. These motherfuckers live on the mid card. These motherfuckers live in catering. And your man is literally over here losing the highest honor in the entire company. Well, second highest, obviously, but one of the highest honors in the entire company, and you're crashing out because you're not treating your son. Shut up, you entitled fuck. Like, oh my God. Dude, this man was a world champion. A world champion. Like,
not a very good one, but yeah, I guess.
You can't complain when your kid is in the highest spot on a show. like the fuck?
You haven't met Rikishi, have you? He can complain.
No, I haven't.
Can
I don't think it would be a great conversation.
That man can complain for days. He can complain for days. We also got a super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, "What up, you guys? Glad to see that you're back live and in charge, despite the suits trying to take you down on Thursday. LOL. Let's talk about the week that was in pro wrestling, baby. Yeah, once again we apologize for the StreamYard and Google." Like Google overall was like shut down for like 2 hours and it cut off our feed for AE Ramble on Thursday. So there's 2 parts of AE Ramble on our channel right now. You can see the first part before our feed got cut and the second part that me and Jimmy did live on the channel later on in the evening time for all of y'all. But yeah, that was not in our control. Yes, the suits tried to keep us down.
They just hate watching niggas succeed.
Never fails, right? Never fails. Always trying to keep us down. Always trying to keep us down. You got Aubrey who brings up Ron Killings burying Bully Ray on Busted Open. I mean, Bully Ray deserves to be deserves to be buried every time out.
God, what did he say this time?
Oh God.
Well, first he was trying to criticize wrestling media for accurately reporting about R-Truth, and then he was also complaining about Truth's promo on Raw.
What? That was a good promo.
He basically in a nutshell said, "You're trying to tell the people that you're this new version, that you're this new Ron Killings guy, and you're still using Truth dialogue. I don't want to hear anything about Truth when you're trying to get away from that character.
But then also it's like you're upset that people reported what happened. Are we supposed to be okay with the CCO line to the fans again? Like we're supposed to be excited? Like, oh my God, it doesn't matter how Truth got his job back. He got it back. Like, no, it does fucking matter. Why? Because the fucking top guy that always shows his face everywhere didn't want him there. So now we're supposed to be okay with that.
You wanted it.
Apparently. You wanted it. You wanted it.
You wanted it. I didn't want it.
You wanted it, not me, but
I didn't want it. We wanted it. Not him. Not him. Not I'm happy to have him back, or you know, we overturned, we made a right or wrong, a right. I mean, but you know, no.
You wanted
it. You people wanted it.
Senior Nerd brings up a good point. He says, did Rikishi expecting Jay to have a Bruno Sammartino-esque run? No, he compared it. He thought he didn't think that they would do that to Randy Orton or John Cena. And then a lot of people on social media pointed out the fact that 9 of Randy Orton's reigns were shorter than Jey Uso's 1 reign. And I think it was another like 8 or 9 of John Cena's reigns was shorter than Jey Uso's reign. And also they forgot the fact that Randy Orton's first reign was shorter than Jey Uso's reign.
Did they not like average out what the fucking Rock's average title reign was? This nigga would barely make it to another pay-per-view as champion.
Talk about it, man. Talk about it.
It's just so stupid. Like, just because Cody Rhodes had a 378-day reign, that shit ain't the window for fucking Jey Uso to get a 300-day reign.
And I really only feel Cody got that reign because he followed a guy that held the title for what 1,300 days. Like,
and main evented with the man 2 years in the best story in wrestling.
Yeah. Here we are. But let's get into it. We got to start off, as always, with our Tru Heel roll call, shouting out all those helping us out and supporting us across social media. Our Tru Heel Trinity on Facebook. You got Joe Bellini. You got Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting and Stewie John Palmer. Our Patreon backers, you got Valub. You got Negro Bucknick Jackson, Professor Chris, Trey, Robert, Steve, Ladarius, John, Martin, Dolores, James, Alan, Santo, and Justin Rich. Thank you so much for supporting us over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content right now. We got a great series that just started up this week over on Patreon, where me and Jimmy McAroon will be watching all 4 matches from the Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega series. Jimmy is taking this so seriously that he did not even watch the 6-minute video package on Okada and Omega from Summer Blockbuster because he didn't want the last 3 matches spoiled from him. So he's taking this serious because he's only watched the first match with me, and he watched it before on his own. He's never watched 2, 3, or 4. So look forward to that and join Patreon now to watch that series. But let's get into what we missed, fellas. And let's start off with last Saturday, where we left off with our predictions for WWE Triple and AAA Worlds Collide. The show featured Elio Del Vikingo defeating Chad Gable in an excellent main event to retain the AAA Mega Championship that served as a wonderful showcase of Vikingo's skill and ability as the next great high flyer of Lucha Libre. You also had Ethan Page beat Laredo Kid, Ray Phoenix, and Javon Evans in an awesome 4-way bout that was filled with exciting action to retain the NXT North American Championship. Legado del Fantasma picked up a win over Psycho Clown, Pagano, and Elio de Dr. Wagner Jr. or Dr. Wagner Jr. III in a pretty fun trios matchup. Stephanie Vicaire and Lola Vice, they scored a win over Delise and Chick Tormenta in tag team action, while Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and the biggest star of the weekend, Mr. Iguana, defeated LWO's Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro and Lince Dorado in an awesome trios opener. Post-match, Dominic Mysterio called out Octagon for being a Rey Mysterio fan and got into a pull-apart brawl with the Luchador that led to an Intercontinental title matchup at Money in the Bank. And speaking of Money in the Bank, that shortly followed Worlds Collide, and that show featured Naomi beating Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Julia, Roxanne Perez, and Stephanie Vicaire to win the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Then you also had the follow-up to that Intercontinental Championship challenge, as you had Dominic Mysterio. He picked up a win over Octagon Jr. to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch defeated Lyra Valkyria in a great match to win the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Post-match, Lyra raised Becky's hand per the pre-match stipulation, but then Lynch made her raise her hand all around the ring over and over, as well as wanted her to put the title around her waist, which led to Valkyria laying out the new champion with a German suplex and a Nightwing. Seth freaking Rollins beat LA Knight, Andrade, Penta, El Grande Americano, and Solo Sikoa in a terrific Money in the Bank ladder match that saw Jacob Fatu finally turn on Solo. I hate you, laying him out right before Seth was able to wrestle away from LA Knight and retrieve the Money in the Bank briefcase for the win. And finally, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes and World Heavyweight Champion Jey Uso beat John Cena and Logan Paul in a good tag team main event, thanks to an assist from the returning R-Truth to an electric pop from the LA crowd, with Cody pinning the undisputed WWE champion to close the show with John Cena in shock. So we'll start with JJ here. What was your overall thoughts on the two big premium live events from last Saturday, WWE AAA Worlds Collide and WWE Money in the Bank?
Worlds Collide was a pretty fun show. Like it was pretty fun. It was good. I'm still, I guess, a little lost on this whole Mr. Iguana thing, because I'm like, why? But I guess people like, I guess it's like the last of a dying breed with the gimmicks. So I guess people want to keep the gimmick alive or something. I don't know. But it was a pretty fun show. The main event was really good. Chad Gable and Vikingo was really good. Like, that was a really good match. But other than that, like nothing like right home about, but it was good. Money in the Bank. It was average at best. It was average. You had the women's Money in the Bank that I thought was going to be one of the greatest women's Money in the Bank matches of all time, but which it wasn't. It let me down in so many ways. The winner was right. Like, they got the winner right. But it wasn't really that great. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was good, but it wasn't like there's been better. Whatever happened with Dom and whatever his name is. That match happened. Becky and Lyra. Becky and Lyra was good. That was probably my favorite one, like my favorite singles match. I mean, it was only one, but that was two singles matches on the whole show. Great. Yeah. So not a high bar there, but it was a good match. The men's Money in the Bank was way better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I thought the men's Money in the Bank had a chance to just be straight ass, and it actually was a pretty good match. It was a pretty good match. And yeah, as it's kind of like predicted, didn't want that to happen, but obviously the predictable victor happened. The Solo and Jacob was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Finally happened. Pull the trigger on that, get away from that fucking bum Solo. And then the tag match was SmackDown main event. Like it happened. Then of course the man that saved the entire match, Ron Killings, came out, saved the entire match, since nobody wanted it except us. You know, so we cheered for it because that's what we wanted. Apparently, only us. And it was nice to see. It was good to see him come back. Obviously, they wrote their fucking wrongs and try to make it right, but you know, at least they did it. At least they fucking did it. But you know, we'll take it. But it's still like the response afterwards was such like a slap in the face type of, yeah, this had nothing to do with what we wanted. This is what you guys wanted. And it's like, so what are y'all not even gonna like try and put an engine behind this guy? So y'all just put him out there and just let him do whatever, and just if he falls on his face, he falls on his face. I told you so type shit. Or are they gonna actually try something with him? So you know, we're looking forward to see that. But yeah, no, Money in the Bank average show. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, those are fair assessments. I thought that with the women's and the men's Money in the Bank, I thought the women's was a good match, right winner, but the men's match was a great match with a so-so winner because they made it too obvious who the winner was going to be. It made it too obvious to the point that we were all thinking of someone else to win the matchup because it felt too obvious to go with Seth, and then they just gave us the obvious winner.
They just did Seth. Fuck LA Knight. Like
I think this is overall a show that's going to be propped up in the memories of the two memorable moments of Jacob Fatu turning on Solo Sikoa and the return of R-Truth. I think that's what Money in the Bank, more than the matches themselves, they're going to be remembered for that. Josh, what was your overall thoughts? This was the first, I think this is the first this year, WWE premium live events that you weren't on the review for. So I want to hear your thoughts on Worlds Collide and Money in the Bank.
Worlds Collide was okay. Probably the best two matches were like the last two matches, I would say. Everything else was like either like, you know, wasn't a big deal. I know everybody has his love affair for Mr. Iguana. I personally don't. I don't get it. That's just me. You know, it's good for him. You know, he got over. It's good for him. I'm happy for the individual. It's just funny that a lot of fans all of a sudden they think they know him and they act like they always watch AAA.
With this nigga in the gym.
You know, it's like, you know, it's funny, right? People want to brag. Look. You know, they think they're doing something. You know, like I said, they're making money off of him. It's good. It's good for him because it's putting money in his pocket. As far as how far that's gonna go, I don't think it's gonna go very far. You know, they're gonna use him as a cash grab and then probably go nowhere after that. The main event was cool too, Vikingo and Chad Gable. I thought it was cool. It was a good match. So overall, I mean, the show, it is what it is. I mean, you kind of expect it, especially with the AAA talent that they have. Maybe they have like a few people that are like, you know, top guys. Obviously, the biggest one is Vikingo. But you know, that attack women's match was ass from that show too. So,
yo, I was totally stunned that there was some people that actually liked that matchup. People were using that matchup as a way to like.
It was only because of the double devil's kiss. That's it.
Yeah, but like I saw actual people that actually value their opinions trying to use this matchup as like a big praise for Lola Vice. She was the second best person in a matchup that had two 50-year-old women in it. Like, it's not that big of a praise.
It's not, and I mean that's the only part. Because, you know, there's a lot of perverts out there, you know, pretty sure there's some in the chat too that are a lot of perverts that they enjoyed that part of the match. But the match was ass. The match sucked. But also because Stephanie held back a lot, obviously so, because she was doing double duty that night. So like she didn't even do a lot. for obvious reasons, like I said. But I mean, overall, the show was okay. Money in the Bank, I thought was better than Backlash, but you know, it was still kind of one of those shows where it was like, you know, like I thought it was like maybe like a 7 out of 10 at best for me. The women's Money in the Bank match, I thought would be good. The sucky part about it is that the match was okay. It was the first to go, and then there was not a lot of people in the seats already, so it looked empty. Like
half the fucking arena was empty, bro.
It was empty.
I texted ST. I was like, bro, where the fuck are the people? He was like, it's in LA. Niggas don't show up until like an hour.
Yo, I was like, it's because I'm a Lakers fan. I know they don't show up. The traffic is crazy. They had a protest in LA. I was like, yeah, they ain't showing up till like the third match.
Yeah, you know, and then even with that, people were trying to use it as like, you see, this is why, you know, tickets are too expensive, so people are not going. And then even I had to like call the bullshit, and I'm just like, no, guys, the show's actually legit sellout. Money Bank was a sellout in LA. Like, you know me, I like being consistent. I can't, you know, that's bullshit. I can't call the bull. I got to call the bullshit on that too.
They bought the tickets.
It was just, yeah, you know, like, but it's the fact that, I mean, you know, it was a tough spot. I mean, I get it. I get why that was the opening match. It's just, you know, maybe next time they probably shouldn't be doing 2 shows in LA. You know, maybe going forward next time. Are they going to stop? No, because they're going to make a lot of money off of it. But besides that, like I said, the show was okay overall. You know, obviously, like you said, the men's match, it was a good Money in the Bank match. As far as the winner, when I was at Brooklyn Comic Con, I did say Seth Rollins would win. Somebody did ask me. I picked Naomi as the winner, and I picked Seth Rollins. And I said Seth Rollins only because of the storyline that's going on, and they're gonna probably put they're gonna back him on that. The person was like that they hope is LA Knight. I was just like, I don't think the company's gonna be behind them. And then that's what exactly happened. They were not behind. They're not gonna be behind LA Knight. I think people need to like let it go at this point.
Yeah, it's been 2 years, bro.
You know what I mean?
I was like, this year was the least he was over. So I thought it would be the year they would go for it, because WWE is known for being 1 year late.
So you know what I mean with the book bag, where they're telling the bro to let it go, and it's like ripping like the book bag, like the little like the handle of the book bag. That's LA Knight at this point. It's like, guys, you gotta let go. It's like, it's not gonna happen. It's like, it is what it is. But the Jacob Fatu moment was great, especially when he said, "I hate you." It was funny. I thought it was hilarious because it kind of reminded me of like one of those movies where like the villain turns on like his predecessor, and like Darth Vader turned on Palpatine. That's what I reminded me of. And it was good. And then obviously we saw the Truth stuff. He did save the main event. The main event was okay for what it was. I thought it was okay. Like, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't worse than I thought it was gonna be, but it was still like the John Cena tactics. He's calling out his next moves in the ring. He moves slow. It's getting fucking annoying at this point. And then R-Truth saved the match. I got to call like it is. He saved the match.
The first half of that tag team match was a freaking slog. He was moving at like negative 2.5 speed. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I was just like, fuck. Like, I think I'm getting to a point where it's like, yeah, this is John Cena we're getting, so we're gonna have to deal with it until they take the fucking belt off of him. So I had low expectations for the match, but again, R-Truth definitely saved the match because again, nobody expected it. The only thing I just didn't like is, you know, everyone's making it about everything else, and I think that's kind of took away from it because obviously, you know, R-Truth has meant a lot to a lot of people in the locker room. He's meant to a lot of fans. So the fact that he even got his job back, you know, it's good for him. And I'm happy for Ron himself. It's just the bullshit that follow up. I wasn't really feeling. Like, I wasn't feeling the shit Michael Cole said on commentary. Oh, they couldn't come to a contract agreement. No, they didn't want to fucking give him a new contract. Like, let's stop calling out the bullshit. Like, let's stop doing that. That's what it was. He wanted to stay. They didn't want to keep him. And they, as in Triple H, did not want to keep him. So then when he goes to the press conference, he says the shit he says. I'm just like, bro, you're making it worse. And then his son called him out on it too. And then Truth even had to say like no work. Like he had to like confirm like no, this shit was not a work. Like, you know. And then the next day he confirmed it himself. Like he was thanking the fans. You know. So I'm happy that Truth got his job back. I'm just not about the bullshit surrounding it.
Well, let's talk about the bullshit surrounding it, because during the WWE Money in the Bank 2025 post-show press conference, WWE Chief Creative Officer Paul Triple H Levesque discussed the shocking return of Ron R-Truth Killings at WWE Money in the Bank 2025. In the main event, like we said, R-Truth interfered and attacked John Cena, helping Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso win the headline matchup. During the post-show press conference, US Today's Jordan Mendoza said that Triple H has likely heard everything that's being said about R-Truth online since the recent news of R-Truth's exit from WWE. Triple H seemed to sarcastically state, "I didn't notice." Mendoza then asks, was he, talking about R-Truth, actually released or leaving the company? And if so, how much did fans play a role in it? Or was there something else that made you guys decide, you know what, we want this guy to still be here? And Triple H responded and said, I love the question. Enjoying the show? All part of the show, man. All part of the show. As noted, R-Truth announced on June 1st that he was leaving WWE, and it was later reported that WWE opted not to renew his contract. During the post-show as well, Big E suggested that it was Ron Killings, not R-Truth, that returned. WWE confirmed that right after, as they are now selling Ron Killings merchandise. PW Insider reports that Ron Killings was having talks with several promotions about appearances and independent bookings just a few days ago, and this means that decision to bring him back was last minute. A new report from PW Insider also clarified the circumstances surrounding R-Truth's recent departure from and swift return to WWE. The report confirms that the situation was, in fact, not a planned storyline. They said, no, his announcement of a WWE departure was not a work. R-Truth also commented on a post where he confirmed this was no work. The report stated that it was never a work and it was never meant to be a work. Anyone who says otherwise is deluding themselves. The new deal was reportedly finalized on the Friday before Money in the Bank. WWE then hid him until his run-in during the main event, with most in the locker room unaware he was the one returning. His son Christopher has referred to the deal as a last run, and it was also confirmed that WWE President Nick Khan stepped in to finalize the negotiations after initial talks stalled. Apparently, R-Truth was not returning any phone calls from anyone from WWE, including Triple H, until Nick Khan was stepped in and made the deal official. Christopher Killings also went on social media and reposted Triple H's comments in regards, and he said, stop the cap. Going forward, R-Truth will be using his real name, Ron Killings. This is reportedly to facilitate a more serious character for his final run. A Wrestling Observer newsletter also confirmed that this was done in negotiations and was suggested by Ron Killings as something he wanted to do to prepare himself for life after WWE, to start using his real name. The PW Insider report dismisses the theory that the situation was a work, citing past instances of WWE reversing releases for stars like the Blue Meanie and Matt Hardy. It notes that this is a new management team making decisions. Ultimately, the report concludes that WWE made a mistake with the initial decision and then they reversed it. A new report had more details about Ron Killings' return at WWE Money in the Bank, while Killings and his son have shut down the notion that it was part of a work. Fightful Select reports that according to sources close to Killings, that he does have a new deal. The report notes that a number of wrestling promotions and wrestling promoters and companies reached out to him in the past week, hopeful that they could book him when the expiration date for his contract came up. In addition, several talent told Fightful they spoke with Killings and iterated repeatedly that it wasn't a work. The site was told that there were many tears over the matter and that Killings himself seemed shocked and kind of disgusted, with one talent noting the impersonal way he was let go. He was called by a random talent relations staffer and not Triple H Paul Levesque himself. The report goes on to say that Killings ignored a number of WWE's approaches over the past week until Nick Khan called him to get a new deal set up, which was a meeting halfway. Triple H was asked about that, like we said before, saying enjoying the show and all part of the show, man, at the post Money in the Bank press conference. Christopher Killings posted to Instagram and saying stop the cap, aka stop the lie. He also congratulated his father on his last run and his new deal with the company. One talent spoke to Fightful and pointed to the post and said, "See, you can't control all these conversations." Meanwhile, Killings posted to Twitter himself to respond to a comment about everyone got worked, and he said no work, and then added another post saying no cap, no lie, hashtag we want truth was seen, heard, felt, and understood. Believe me when I say this, I love every one of y'all to death. We made history together. Finally, the report notes that everyone is excited about Killings' return, which has been kept quiet for obvious reasons. Then a new report from Fightful also confirmed additional details on his return to WWE. Fightful spoke with a WWE higher-up who provided additional confirmation, their initial report of the event as they happened, including Nick Khan reaching out to Killings. The report notes that Killings didn't seem to entertain calls when originally approached for a return, and that when things opened up when Nick Khan took over with a reinforcement that the situation wasn't a work. The report goes on to note that sources said that it's rare that Nick Khan gets involved in contract talks, but that this was considered important for WWE and the locker room. That same higher-up said that they considered Killings' return as a good sign that the roster and fan response overcame any other issues. The roster is said to be very pleased about him being back with WWE, and talent that they have asked WWE and Killings about the situation have been told it was not a work as well. Another source in WWE management was asked about his name being changed to Ron Killings, and while there were no guarantees about booking given, it was said that Killings had previously said he wanted to have at least a somewhat more serious run before his in-ring career ended. The report finally notes that the T-shirt that WWE is newly advertised is not a new T-shirt, and that Killings wore it in February. And then finally, Killings had another tweet where he said, "How equals you? Y'all brought me back. They heard, listened, felt, and understood. Thank you at Triple H and at WWE, and man, thank you, Nick Khan." He wrote, Nick Khan for allowing R-Truth to set me free. I'm driving now. I am Ron Killings. I am the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now put some respect on my name. JJ, what do you think about all of this and the fact that Triple H, this whole thing does not put Triple H in the best of light in a year that has had a lot of ups and downs in regards to the perception of Triple H after Triple H was kind of in the good graces. This whole situation seems to have been saved by Nick Khan and the roster and the fans, and then his response at Money in the Bank. What do you think that's done for his kind of perception overall, and just your overall thoughts on the whole R-Truth situation?
All right, so I think I would like for probably this to be the only time that I talk about this, because the rest of the time that we have R-Truth, I want to celebrate and enjoy Ron Killings. with that being said, this whole fucking response and back and forth, it's starting to overshadow the joy of having Ron Killings back. And it's a damn shame that we're talking about this more than having the man that we wanted back or never gone from the company to begin with. But in the world of professional wrestling, you got to do something in order to make a change happen. And the only way they was going to make this change happen is for this fucked up occurrence to happen. Because they weren't going to change his character from R-Truth, the funny guy that forgets where he's at and makes us laugh and being a member of the Judgment Day and doing all of that fun shit and putting smiles on our faces. The only way we was going to get Ron Killings in this version of who we are going to love, it was going to be for this bullshit to all happen. And unfortunately, there's so much talk about how fucked up Triple H handled all of this, and he fucked this up badly. Like, I am just someone that loves when someone takes accountability for what the fuck they did, and all y'all had to do was say, I heard the fans, and I righted something that we did a week ago, and we welcome Ron back with open arms and go kill it. Why the fuck is that so hard to do? Why the fuck is that so hard to do that y'all made a big mistake and y'all are now trying to work it into your program and say that it's a part of the show? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, there's gonna be a few novice people that relatively kind of believes the bullshit. But you're not gonna tell any OG heads, anybody that has actually followed wrestling, that knows the game, especially with access to social media now, that we're gonna believe that this is a part of the show when half the fucking roster tweeted love for the man and wished him all the best and knowing that he's gonna kill it wherever and whatever he does. This didn't happen, unfortunately, for Carlito. This happened for somebody that they have literally celebrated this man's 50th birthday on television. They celebrated his birthday on TV. That's how much love that company has for that man. And for him not to get a ceremonious exit or some type of curtain call or some way for him to say this, like I mentioned this like a week or two ago, like, he could have gotten an ability to address the people and let them know that his time is coming to a close with the company, or do some form of angle or some form of work that involved him and John Cena, that John Cena erased him or some shit like that. They literally did none of the sorts, and all they literally did was cut ties with this man through a member of his PR team and called and said, hey, we're not renewing your contract. We're going to let you go. Like, how fucked up and how disingenuous is that for somebody that has been with the company for so fucking long? Like, but then you're going to slap everyone in the face to say, are you enjoying the show? Bitch! Like, the fuck are you talking about right now? Like, yo, stop playing us like we stupid. Like, yeah, we are because we are lifelong fans. But stop playing us like we fucking stupid. Like, y'all cut this man unceremoniously, try to lowball the shit out of him with a half-ass contract offer that y'all knew he wasn't gonna fucking accept. And of course he didn't accept it. And then y'all let him go. And now y'all want to kind of take credit to a degree. Y'all want to now take credit for everything that the people and all the love that he got to make it that your show is an unpredictable product. Eat a dick, bro. Like, eat a dick. Like that is fucking terrible taste, dude. Like, that is terrible taste. And I am not going to talk about this anymore because I want to enjoy the time that I have now with Ron Killings and this new version of him, because all of this talk is literally overshadowing what I want to enjoy, which is Ron Killings' final run. And this, I more than understand people's fucking understanding of like their fucking hatred towards this situation. But I just advise it's done. Let's have a fucking time to enjoy this man because he is in his 50s. It's not going to last very long. And let's just soak this shit in because on Monday, he gave us one of the most memorable moments in wrestling history. Like, he gave us something special on Monday night. And that's what I want to enjoy. And all of this fucking cock blocking bullshit that Triple H and fucking team and people are doing, like just stop. Just like, you want to peel back the curtain and go unreal, right? All of that bullshit. Like, fucking take accountability for your fucking actions and your mistakes. That's literally all the people wanted to hear was, we are writing something that we did. Ron, go kill it.
I think that Triple H just should like not do press conferences, because I really stand by what I said on the review. If he doesn't do that press conference, it would just be what you want, JJ. It would just be about, I'm so glad R-Truth is back. If he doesn't say that dumb shit in that press conference, it would just be overwhelming happiness. Yes, he was wronged with what happened in the whole situation, but then you could be happy the fact that he was back, and now it's not a bigger discussion than that. It has to be a bigger discussion because Triple H tried to take ownership over it, saying that it was all part of the show. When no, it was a real life thing. You chose to cut one of the most beloved baby faces out there. Yes, he's a comedy act. Yes, he's a mid-card act. But you need guys like that. You need glue guys who just put a smile on not only the fans' faces, but everyone backstage. And it was an overwhelming dislike. This is one of, like Fightful said last week, we talked about it, the most universally disliked departure from WWE in the history of anything they've covered in their outlet's history. And it's probably the most disliked thing that I've ever seen from the company. And I've seen, guys like Matt Hardy who got brought back because of the fan support. Blue Meanie got brought back because of the fan support. We saw just last year, Cody Rhodes got pushed back into the main event of WrestleMania because the fans rejected The Rock being involved in that. And they made that part of the story, but you never had Triple H saying, oh, it's all part of the show. He did this because he is the one that messed up here. He was the one that messed up here, and he did not want to just give all the credit to the fans. And it's just another in a long line of Triple H basically spiting his nose, cutting off his nose to spite his face with stupid comments. I don't see color. I didn't read the lawsuit. I'm going to discredit media on the dirt sheets on something that then I had to go back on. And now he's discrediting the media. He's throwing R-Truth under the bus. And then he's basically saying that he's lying to his whole locker room by saying that it's all part of the show. This was probably the top, like stupid comment that he's ever made in a press conference. And I will say it here because it's the flagship. So I'll say it here. I have it on good authority because I've talked to multiple people who have talked to people within WWE. The roster did not like those comments. R-Truth did not like those comments, and that's obvious by R-Truth's response on social media with all the posts, no work, and the multiple posts that he did. He tried to save face with Triple H by thanking him in the last post that he did after Monday Night Raw, but he was not happy with Triple H saying it was all part of the show. That's why he came out with the no work. Truth's family wasn't happy with that. That's why his son came out and said, stop the cap. Why couldn't you just let it be about the fans basically gave this man not only one final run, but gave him negotiation power to the point that he's able to have his real name? This would have been such a great moment of WWE listening to their fan base, and Triple H ruined that.
And how often do they say, oh, the WWE universe is our boss? WWE universe is our boss. was a fucking golden goose just handed to you just to say we listen to our bosses. Like it was, this should have been so easy. It should have been so easy. And
he had a free lane for a layup, and he launched it from half court.
And then the fucking tweet on top of that, bro. The niggas' hashtags was longer than the fucking caption. Like, what are we doing? Like, all you had to put in your caption, we heard you. We heard you. You wanted it. We heard you. He's back. Why is that so difficult to process when you're in the middle of all of that, hearing that from everyone? It's such a Vince McMahon move. It's such a Vince McMahon move that it's literally stemming down to him. And it's gonna be like, the older he gets, the worse he's gonna become.
Yeah. Like I'm happy for Truth, because like I said, like the fact that he had the negotiation power to basically write his own kind of contract and what he wanted, one last serious run, and able to beat Ron Killings. It's so great, and it's incredible that it's due to the fans. So I do want to say that's the most important thing of this all, but it's just shaking head worthy WWE and more importantly, particularly Triple H, because he's rubbed everyone the wrong way with how
I
he's
wouldn't even say
responded to
WWE, bro. This is a Triple H. This is Triple H. This is all Triple H, because Nick Khan is a part of WWE and he made it right. So I won't say like this is Triple H's fuck ups.
Fuck up to choose R-Truth to be the person who gets cut because of the budget, and then fuck up with his response to everything. Yes, Josh. Any final words before we wrap things up on this topic here?
I mean, everyone said what they had to say. I mean, in regards to everything, like I said before, that's the downside of it, because of how everything happened, right? I think if Triple H was in a situation where he was asked a legit question, first of all, credit to who was the guy's name? Credit to him for asking that question, because it was a question that needed to be asked. And that's why I'll give him praise for that, because a lot of those media people in there, they suck. They ask generic ass questions, stupid ass questions, and and I get it. Nobody's just not going to give you the response or the answer that you expect, but it's good to at least, if you ask it, at least you'll know, hey, I did my job, I did my part, I asked an important question, and then if he fumbles, right? So credit to that man for asking the important question, right? In regards to that, but overall, I mean, like, am I really surprised that he fumbled the question? No, I'm not surprised, because the reason why he won't admit it is because that's not his agenda. Triple H's ego is too good for that. He can admit when he's wrong. Like the whole thing from last year, right? When it comes to the whole Cody Rhodes thing, the reason why Triple H, he was high and mighty about it is because he had the decision of making Cody Rhodes the Royal Rumble winner. It was his decision, and others gave some pushback because of The Rock being involved, and that's what happened. So when they went back to what Triple H wanted to do, he was bragging about it. He was gloating about it. He even cut a promo that same week, saying like how the main event was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Why? Because that was his decision. So in this situation, knowing that he messed up, he made the final decision. He's not going to admit wrong to that. He could have, and honestly, that would have done him way more favors. Why? Because then people would have seen like, you know what, I'll give you credit. Props to you for finally owning up to your fuck up. Props to you for finally, admitting that you were wrong. And I think that would have gone a long way with a lot of fans, right? A lot of fans like myself, where it's like, that's what we really want. We want a level of accountability. And I think it's always important for us to talk about shit like this. Why? Because we also need, as fans, need to hold people like this accountable, no matter who it is, no matter if it's your favorite or not. If they mess up, you got to call it like it is. And I think a lot of times where we criticize WWE for things, there's a lot of fans that give us pushback. We get shit sometimes in the YouTube channels. Oh, you guys are glazing this company and you're shitting on WWE. I'm not watching. I'm like, no, we're fucking doing it because why? Because WWE has been in a situation where they put themselves on a pedestal, saying that they're the hottest brand. So then when you give a shit, I'm gonna call it out. And I think that we're in a situation where I think that's fair to do that. And the fact that we're here criticizing Triple H, I know there's some people who are probably not gonna be happy about that. I'll say, oh fucking well, because he fucking deserved it. But besides that, again, I'm happy for Truth. I'm happy that he got his job back. Because honestly, even if he didn't go back to WWE, Truth was gonna be fine. He was gonna get a shitload of bookings. He probably would have even gotten a bigger contract elsewhere. So he would have been fine no matter what. But it was the fact that he put in 17 years. No matter what, no matter if people might not like the comedy act or whatever the case may be, he was there for 17 years. Not a lot of people could say that they've been in the company, and this was the second stint, by the way. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he got a second stint lasted this long kind of tells you, that sometimes you don't need to be the best worker. You don't need to be like the best. You don't need to be the superstar. Sometimes you just need to be important, and important. That means in other aspects. Truth was important to the locker room. He's important to that. He's important to the morale of like that group of people, of individuals. That's why so many people look up to him. And the fact that he was treated like that, of course is gonna bother people, and it's gonna piss off a lot of people because it's not fair. The fact that he put in that much work and then it's like, oh, we're not gonna renew your deal. Like you could, it's kind of like, damn, like that's how you do the guy. Like, and I get it. It's a business at the end of the day. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, this is not how you fucking do business. And this is a learning lesson from them. Like, oh, the next guy who we like, who's a locker room favorite, probably shouldn't be doing this, and not to this fashion. There's so many ways they could have gone around that. There's so many ways they could have gone about. Even if you weren't renewing his deal, it would have been fucked up, but it wouldn't have been this bad. It wouldn't have been this levels of bad. But, at the end of the day, he, Truth got his job back. I've personally been liking the stuff that he's been doing, because it's a different side of Truth. And, the fact that, again, I don't mind the comedy stuff, and I've always thought he was entertaining in that, but we're seeing a different kind of Ron. We're kind of seeing like that TNA-esque Ron killings. I've been liking that. And to me, it kind of tells me that maybe Ron Killings was Little Jimmy, maybe. Because it's like he's talking about how now he's protecting Truth, right? I remember a long time Truth was supposedly protecting Jimmy, and Little Jimmy was always there. So now it kind of tells me like, maybe Little Jimmy was Ron Killings this whole time, and now he's just out. Now he's unhinged. And the fact that he cut his hair on TV, I was like, holy shit. That was great. That was some great stuff. And then the fact that, Jay Cargill had me dying. He was like, yo, what is this Negro doing? That shit had me dying. But at the same time, I mean, people did say he was going baldy. So I'm like, it's a good time for probably go with the Suzuki. So, I mean, I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying his work so far. Do I think anything major is probably going to happen for it? Probably not. But it's a little good, feel-good story that he could go out on his own terms. This is what he wanted. He had the negotiating power to get this. He's going to prove a lot of people wrong, that he's just not one-dimensional. And, overall for him, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he's able to do that. On the other side, when it comes to Triple H, I mean, he go fuck himself.
It could have
Very
just
well
been
said.
it could have just went so much better for him. Like we all said, like all he had to do was just thank the fans. Like he didn't even have to take ownership. Like if he didn't want to do that and be on TV and admit to being wrong, all he would have had to do is say, "We heard your voices. We heard your voices." This could have just went so much better for him if he acknowledged how this happened instead of taking credit for why it happened. Like he literally took the credit from the fans and gave it to himself. like that's the thing I think was shocking to me more than it. Like he literally just took that little thing that the whole universe was doing and said, "Oh yeah, we did that. We did that."
We made the fans say we won truth. It was all by design.
Fucking disgusted. Fucking disgusting, bro. But yeah, that man asking that question though was a great point, because without that question, we wouldn't have got this. We got the real side of Triple H.
Yep, we got the real Triple H. Yeah, shout out to US Today's Jordan Mendoza. That was the person who asked the question during the Money in the Bank press conference. We do got a super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, "Do you guys think there is any chance that Dwayne and Brian get Paul out of there as CCO anytime soon?" Anytime soon? No.
Oh.
Is it likely or possible in the future? Yes.
Yeah, because there's going to be a lot of backlash and a lot of comments on basically how he handles these conversations and how he handles these questions. So it's not going to happen anytime soon because of how much money this company is making now. Like they're the bottom line is the bottom line. Like they're the most profitable they've ever been. And apparently that's the root of all of this evil is that dollar that he's seeing, and all he's seeing is dollars, and he hates giving any of it away. So in his mind, he probably thinks they're giving money away to Ron. Like they're giving, like they probably made his entire contract off the Money in the Bank earnings alone. Like they
set the live great record.
One show probably paid for his entire contract.
Damn, what was that? Oh, as far as forcing him out, there has been I think who was it? Was it Jonathan Coachman that he says that he believes that within 18 months he's probably
gone. We talked about that last week, but Jonathan Coachman is no one to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, but he might be, when it comes to this, he might be onto something, just because like if it becomes too much, I could see a situation where I don't think he gets fired, but I do see a situation where he takes himself out before that even happens. I'm talking about Triple H.
Yeah, he's not going to take himself out, bro. He's going to have to get removed.
Like,
he's definitely not going to take himself out.
He's not going to.
That's never been Triple H. He's not going to. He's going to have to be removed or voted out. He has Vince McMahon levels.
That's what The Rock is going to be waiting for. That's what The Rock is. The Rock is going to be like the guy in the tree. The guy that's like rubbing his hands. That's going to be Triple H. That's going to be Dwayne.
He has yet to take ownership or accountability for anything yet. Like literally anything. He hasn't taken accountability for nothing that any fan disagreed with or any reporter asked him. No, like, oh yeah, we could have done something different. No, he hasn't. Oh, we could have done anything differently. Everything is perfect to him.
Shit, especially Mania. I'll tell you that much.
We set another live gate record, and so does it feel like WrestleMania season now? But This is what
We'll
we'll keep.
see somebody that loves to suck their own dick so much. like
self-fellatio.
Like, yo, it's disgusting.
But we got to talk about the other big news from Money in the Bank and Worlds Collide weekend. Outside of R-Truth, the biggest star of the weekend was Mr. Iguana. He got quite a response.
What a
at
shit.
WWE AAA Worlds Collide. A new report has details on the backstage reaction. Iguana was part of the opening matchup at Worlds Collide, teaming with Octagon Jr. and Aerostar to defeat Dragon Lee, Cruz del Toro, and Lince Dorado. The audience got very loud for Iguana's act, and Fightful Select reports that the response has not gone unnoticed backstage. According to the site, the reaction internally to Iguana's appearance was, "We have to get him to the Into Dome for a Money in the Bank appearance." The way his performance was received on social media received a lot of praise, and one NXT source told Sean Ross Sapp directly that they'll be pushing for him to appear on the brand. Iguana was said to be popular among the roster as well, with many pictures being taken together with superstars. He is said to have been approached for dozens of pics when he was seated behind the commentary table at Money in the Bank, and higher up says that he was a pleasure to work with and happy to do any promotional work they needed, resulting in a busy day for him. It was also noted that Iguana's t-shirt sold exceptionally well, and there have already been discussions about how to appropriately merchandise him, including puppets of Layeska, his pet iguana. PW Insider reports that WWE is looking to monetize the AAA star following his viral appearance at Worlds Collide. Although the wrestler signed an exclusive deal with AAA last year, Matt's Republic also reportedly has multiple projects in the works with Mr. Iguana, which will continue to be developed and rolled out. This includes Iguana appearing in the Lucha Libre Legend of the Mask video game that's currently being developed by Hyperkinetic Studios and BC Media Lab. The game is currently available to add to the Steam wishlist. In an interview with WWE Espanol, Iguana commented on the support he's received since that match. He said, "Well, what can I say? A dream come true for the kid who wanted to be a luchador and became one. And from up here, there's nothing beyond. This is the top. There's a mantra I have from a Japanese story, and I always say, I am a wave. I'm a wave. I'm water. I'm water. I flow. I flow. I hope people are ready to learn more about Mr. Iguana. I think people in Mexico already know me. I think many of you already know me. And now for real, now you're going to see who's really calling the shots." Iguana then spoke with Line Directia TV, where he was asked what it would take to be in the same league as John Cena. He says, "I'm there effectively. Literally, I was in the Performance Center yesterday, and they told me you're not going through NXT. You're heading straight to the main roster. I was literally taking pictures with Shawn Michaels and told me they need you here because your shirt is the top seller in WWE. And you're also the fastest rising star when it comes to action figures and trading cards." He continued, "Being in WWE is a dream of every child, and I will have all the time in the world for my city because thanks to them and thanks to being Crosili, I would not be where I am today." There's no word on when Mr. Iguana may make a debut on the WWE main roster. However, this whole answer to this question led to some heat from Mr. Iguana. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Iguana got heat for his comments immediately, and that's why they were later removed from that interview. all of the AAA talent on Worlds Collide, including Iguana, have signed contracts, and AAA talent that didn't appear due to not having visas also are signed with WWE. While the money they earn is good compared to what they had previously, it's still lower than the average star in NXT. The talent are said to be happy with the deal because they are hopeful to get bigger contracts with WWE down the line, but some were not pleased with the fact that Iguana felt like he was getting ahead of himself by mentioning that he had been told he was going to the main roster. I could totally understand why some people in NXT might be like, how the hell he get to skip the line? Because he got a puppet Iguana? I am all for the Mr. Iguana popularity. I think it's hilarious. It's very much in the sense of it's like a Lucha Libre Orange Cassidy. Like the wave of popularity Orange Cassidy had in AEW is very similar to what's going on with WWE catching fire and catching the vibes of Mr. Iguana in a way, because all he's doing is like comedy. He's doing comedy wrestling with a puppet iguana. He did a Spanish fly to a puppet iguana. It's an iguana. JJ, what did you think about the Mr. Iguana Mania?
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like I'm not gonna criticize it because I don't understand it. I don't know if this man is good in the ring. I don't know if this man is good on the microphone. I don't know. I genuinely don't understand it. So I'm not gonna sit here and try to flame something that I don't get. So I'm gonna leave that to y'all, because I'm just looking at it like, and I see him and I see the character and I'm like, yeah, he looks like he fits AAA, but why is he so popular? I don't know.
He's not even that popular in AAA, honestly. From everything I've heard, he's not even that popular in AAA. There's been AAA and Lucha Libre fans that have said, and I quote, this is from Lucha Blog, he is one of the worst things to happen to Lucha Libre.
So I'm responding to lovely producer that's back there. Indies is different than mainstream popularity, dude. Like, this motherfucker is mainstream popular right now. Hey, classic run in.
You want to tell them you lost your tooth?
I lost my tooth.
Oh, nice. I hope you got a lot of money in
Did the tooth fairy come see you?
Yes.
Oh, the tooth fairy gave you a lot of money.
Money. I got money. I got the money.
You got that full-on British accent, man.
Say hi, JJ.
I'm tooth man out.
Got that tooth out. Uh-oh. Tooth fairy about to go take you shopping.
This is the second time this week she's come in here to say her tooth was gone. Her tooth was originally gone on Thursday, but she had to let you guys know.
She had a whole British accent in it. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Wow. But I don't understand it. Like, so maybe Josh knows way more than I do, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does, but I don't get it.
Josh, what's your thoughts on Mr. Iguana Mania?
I ain't got nothing for you, bro.
I don't get it. Like, I said it. I was just like, it's good for him. It's a good thing for him. It's just he's not very good in the ring. That's why I'm like, all right, he got over. I mean, you know, sometimes it's good for wrestlers, right? Some of them need to get over, certain gimmicks, certain characters. Gimmick got over. He has a little puppet and it got over. So it's good for him. It's just that I know what WWE's trying to do. Obviously they're gonna do their due diligence. It's like, hey, wait a minute, we own 51% of AAA, so You know, we gotta make the best of it. So obviously, you know, they're using him, you know, as a cash grab. Again, it's good for him. He's putting money in his pocket. It's just, you know, the only thing I would say the downside about this is that this is kind of like the argument that people try to use where it comes to like characters and gimmicks compared to ring work, where people think ring work doesn't matter in wrestling. They think like, oh, all you gotta have is a character and you'll get over. So people are gonna use this as an example of like, oh, you see, who cares about Vikingo? This character, he got over. Mr. Iguana got over, right? And I'm just like, some of us don't give a shit about that. So I don't care. And it's like, if it's just gonna be a comedy act, then get over. I mean, again, it's good for him. It's just
this is the same audience that loves Joe Hendry. Like,
yeah,
this is what they do.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, and it's just, you know, they're gonna try to brag. They're gonna try to make it seem like, hey, Joe Henry's doing great things. He's a fucking average wrestler. I like Joe Henry, but he's average in the ring. He's average at best in the ring. And then we saw his TNA title run. It was complete ass. So it's like these kind of guys are just not going to be what people are thinking they're going to end up being.
What title?
But on a personal level, it's good for him. Like, I'm happy for the individual himself. I think in regards to the comments, I think it's I think it's a nothing burger. In my opinion. He made some comments like, "Oh, yeah, you're going to make straight to the main roster." I think it was just somebody like making a comment, you know, they're hyping him up. I think that's what it was. So he took it, he ran with it. And it happens all the time in WWE. Oh, this person's going to be a big star, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like being told that and then going to the interview, hey, you know, Shawn Michaels told me I'm going to be a big star someday. And it's like, wait a minute, why are you going to be a big star? Why can't I be a big star? That's how I took the interview. That's just me. You know, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, the Mexican luchadors, they always talk their shit, especially in the interviews. They always want to make it like bigger than it was. I don't think he's gonna get that much heat, and I think that WWE is gonna use him. For one, I'll be the only one on this panel that says I'm here for Mr. Iguana being popular in WWE. It makes totally sense with the company that this is, that Mr. Iguana would be popular. And I expect them to sell a bunch of those puppet Yescas. So
it's not so much like I'm not for it. It's just like I just kind of know what the annoyance it comes with. That's all it really is.
This just feels like a Triple H push to sell more shit.
It's a very like kind of ironic. It's ironic popularity.
Yeah, because honestly, Triple H doesn't even like comedy gimmicks. Like, he doesn't like comedy guys.
He likes money.
Yeah, he likes money. And if the TKO, they're like, wait a minute, TKO's in a situation where they gotta make money. So if there's a wrestler that's going to make the money, they're going to push for that. They're going to do their due diligence. So when it comes to that, they're not exactly wrong. They're not exactly wrong for that aspect. But again, you know, it's good for him. It's good for the individual.
Yeah, if he listen, get all the money you can, bro. Get all the bread you can.
Get all the me and SP3 been saying
you can. Yeah, get all the books you can. Go get that bread. Go get that bag, because it ain't gonna last very long. But go get as much money as you can, because clearly Triple H got a short love fest for people. He obviously hates people like LA Knight, but LA Knight makes some money, so he got to keep him involved.
All about the money. Finally, in regards to Worlds Collide, WWE announced that Worlds Collide, their event with AAA last Saturday, had the largest live audience ever on YouTube. It broke additional records for their YouTube channels. So congratulations to that, and congratulations with the success of WWE and AAA Worlds Collide. I thought the show was fun, and I actually thought it was better than Money in the Bank. So I gotta give it credit.
I enjoyed watching it more, honestly. And you know what's crazy is that it was a lot of people watching it. Like, there was a lot of people watching it. I think because I saw it live when I was going on break, when I went on break at work. And when I went on break at work, it had like almost 600,000 people watching it live. Like, that's a lot of people for YouTube. That's like damn near like an Apple event, basically.
Yeah, because I think it couldn't be filmed in like a lot of the Mexican broadcast. They don't have like Peacock or anything, so YouTube was the only way they could really watch it too. That's why they did that.
And guess who? And WWE taking that big ass slice of views and giving AAA the pennies.
Not a coincidence that WWE won the night 3-2 out of the 5 matches. But then let's talk about
they got a fucking NXT guy as a fucking TNA champion. Surprise.
Well, we got last night's WWE SmackDown. The show featured John Cena kicking off the program to go over the master plan of his retirement tour and how he's been 1,000 steps ahead this entire time. This led to Cody Rhodes interrupting him to remind Cena that he didn't mention in his master plan that Rhodes pinned him at Money in the Bank. Then Randy Orton came out to claim that he will stop at and nothing to get number 15 by beating Cena. Finally, LA Knight, came down to call Cena a bald bitch and how he will overcome the establishment to become the WWE champion. Cena left the...
LA Knight really Cena... he's like the clown of Call of Duty. The fuck is he in there?
Cena left the ring only to be attacked by Ron R-Truth Killings from behind until security pulled him off. We also had that led into, meanwhile, Orton went on to defeat Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Aleister Black in a very good four-way first round matchup in the King of the Ring tournament. LA Knight was screwed over by the Seth Riders of the Braun Stars, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed, and Orton went on to deliver an RKO on Mello on top of Knight before pinning Knight to move on to the semifinals, where he will face Sami Zayn next week on SmackDown. Later in the show, Cena came back out to the ring to call out Truth, but he got CM Punk instead, making a surprise appearance in here in Kentucky. You had Punk calling out Cena for faking all of this and wanting him to allow the fans to celebrate him during this retirement tour, comparing himself to Obi-Wan Kenobi going up against Darth Vader and seeing Anakin Skywalker inside of Cena. While Cena said that Punk is proving that he's a hypocrite by taking the matchup in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions, Punk believes Cena is stealing his best material by trying to ruin wrestling and leave with the title. Punk thinks the truth is Cena will be the GOAT he sacrificed to save wrestling. When Punk left the ring after this promo exchange, you then get Ron Killings coming back out to once again attack Cena from behind, locking on the STF to set up Cena versus Truth rematch next week on SmackDown. Yes, John Cena will have a TV match during this retirement tour next week against Ron the Truth Killings. Jacob Fatu cut a great promo about why he turned on Solo Sikoa at Money in the Bank and not allowing family to take credit for your accomplishments. Solo interrupted and says that he will give Fatu a chance to come back to the family next week by standing in the ring where he only has to say 4 simple words: I love you, Solo. You also had Naomi had a speech after winning the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match that was interrupted by WWE Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton. Stratton tried to goat Naomi into cashing in right then and there, but Naomi refused, leaving the ring, only for Nia Jax to attack Tiffany Stratton from behind and lay her out. So the Nia Tiffy feud continues for some reason. Jade Cargill beat Piper Niven, Meechin, and Nia Jax in a pretty fun 4-way first round matchup in the King of the Ring tournament. Jade will now face Roxanne Perez in the semifinals, while Alexa Bliss defeated Candice LeRae, Alba Fire, and Charlotte Flair to advance in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She will face the winner of the final first round matchup on Monday Night Raw next week on Friday Night SmackDown. And finally, you had the the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. He picked up a win over Shinsuke Nakamura, Andrade, and Damian Priest in a damn good first round matchup in the King of the Ring tournament. He advances to the semifinals, where he will face the final winner of the first round on Monday Night Raw this week. So we'll find out who's facing Cody Rhodes. It was also announced that the final slot in that four-way matchup against Bronson Reed, Rusev, and Sheamus will be Jey Uso, coming off the heels of his loss of the World Heavyweight Championship. Josh, what did you think about Friday Night SmackDown this week and the continuation of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament, as well as everything that included Cena, Punk, and Truth?
I felt like SmackDown was okay for what we've been getting from it. The stuff with Jacob, the Jacob 2 stuff was really good in my opinion, especially Solo cutting his promo. Jeff Cobb looked ridiculous. I don't know what he was doing, but that that was pretty good stuff. The stuff with Cena and Punk, I thought Punk's promo was really good. I know there was then some mixed stuff about that. Just because of the personal level of him going to Saudi. So I get it. But if I'm rating the actual promo, like what he said and everything, it was good. And then, how they start off the show, when I make my comments about Ellie, I'm like, bro, you haven't won shit. Like, you're in the ring with champions.
Word.
The fuck, what did you win? Like, you haven't won shit. You even lost Money to the Bank. The fuck you doing in the ring? Trying to talk shit. So I thought I was a little odd. Like, they're trying to add him, and it's like come on. You're not pushing that, man. Like, come on. Move. Like, get out of there. Please. No, but and then the King of the Ring stuff, I thought it's been pretty good. What they're doing, like the Fatal 4 and then the matches. I kind of like that format a little bit more just because it kind of gives, it gives something different. So I don't mind it too much. And then, I think for Raw, the mystery person is Jey Uso. I was like, I don't mind Jey, but I was like,
so underwhelming.
I was like, you just hyped up a mystery person, and it's the guy that lost his belt on Monday.
The nigga should have just been in the bracket.
It was like, bro. It was like, what the fuck? I was like, what? So you expected that man to lose, and you gave him the spot?
They should have just announced that the loser of the World Heavyweight title match is getting the final spot instead of.
They should have done that, because now it makes it look stupid, because it's like on Monday you teased a mystery person. But then Friday, you were like, this motherfucker announced on social media that's Jey Uso. And I'm just like, so who the fuck was it going to be? Like, if it was, like, say, like, if Jey Uso didn't retain and you were going to believe in GUNTHER, who the fuck was going to be that mystery person? I was like, what?
Hot mess.
It's like a Dumb and Dumber. He was like, but what if
he literally said in the announcement that he was waiting for the outcome of the matchup. So just say it from the beginning. Don't make it a mystery. Don't say you're going to decide it. Say it from the beginning that you're waiting for the outcome.
Just have both them niggas' pictures on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, that's even more corny. I was like, yeah, you see, this is why I should be fired. You see what I mean? Like, I can't fucking stand that man. That's why he should be fired. Shit like that. But I mean, besides that, like, SmackDown, it was okay. Again, the biggest issue with SmackDown, and it's not changing anytime soon from what we know, is 3 hours. They're going to keep the 3 hours, and that's basically just been the anchor that has been really holding SmackDown back. Part of it. I want to say fully, but that's a big reason, because sometimes when I'm watching SmackDown, it hits 9:30 thinking like, oh, we got half an hour left. It's like, oh, fuck, we got an hour and a half left. And that kind of drains my energy.
I will just say, I liked Punk's promo more than the Monday promo, because I had issues with the Monday promo. All of that to say, though, it was very clear he did not know how to address that at all. He went around that. He stuttered over his words too, which gave it a little bit more of believability. So I think I enjoyed it a little bit more. But god damn, like the whole thing of them basically making the story is that Punk doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia and Cena's forcing him to do that. And basically you are a hypocrite because you're going to Saudi Arabia versus your run has sucked and I need to make it better. That's basically the storyline that they presented last night.
Yeah, and I you know what it is too? It's one of those things where it's kind of like we know why that is, right? We kind of know why that is with Punk. Like, he doesn't want to be in Saudi. At the same time, on TV, he technically probably shouldn't be saying that on TV.
Right.
Because they're going out there. Like, you're going out there, and you know you still have to perform in front of those fans.
He won't make it home.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where it's like I 100% like I get it, but it's like that's what makes it funny. It's like we know why, but it's like they can't say it. It's like we know why. So it's like it's one of those things where they kind of doomed themselves because it's like because like you're calling him a hypocrite, but it's like, why is he a hypocrite? And then it's like you can't say why he's a hypocrite.
Facts. You can't let the cat out of the bag.
And I mean, and honestly, there's a big possibility where there's like a lot of casual fans who probably don't know the CM Punk stuff because you know some of them kind of really don't follow social media or they're like kind of just like oblivious to it. So there's probably a good chance that there's a big portion of the audience who doesn't know what he has said in the past or that Mrs. tweet that he did ages ago. So it's just funny. On TV, it just looks funny. It's like this man calling him a hypocrite, but it's like, what is Punk being a hypocrite for? He just wants to get a title match. Like, what's there to be a hypocrite about? But it's like, motherfucker don't want to be in Saudi. That's what it is.
It's definitely a choice. Not a good choice, but definitely a choice. JJ, any quick comments on last night's SmackDown?
Oh, I guess, I said in the beginning of the show, like, compared to what we've been getting, SmackDown being the worst thing on television, it was tolerable. Like, it was a tolerable show. Like we had some decent moments in it. Like, it was something to actually talk about, what you guys have done really well. We got a lot of John Cena on this show, like a lot of John Cena, like backstage shit, multiple ring appearances. Like
that backstage shit was hilarious because they had the audio off, so all you see is John Cena yelling at Nick Aldis. You don't hear nothing.
He was a baseball manager.
Yeah. We got to when he turned the cap back, I was like, oh, we got to get a Dr. Thugonomics promo. We got to get a Dr. promo, man. But yeah, like I said, it was tolerable, man. Like, then the fact that we got a couple good matches out of it. Like we got some moments of Ron Killings in the show. Then we had the good ending with Cody Rhodes winning in the Fatal 4-Way. So like it was a tolerable show. But other than that, like the CM Punk and John Cena, like it is when I say I cannot get how understandable this is, more than understandable as to why this man won't address it, because if he addresses it, he won't make it home. so he literally can't address it, and I need fans to he can't talk about it. He just needs to go there for that night, do his match, and get the fuck up out of there. Like, because he can't unleash any truthful feelings. He can't. Like,
there's
so
just
as much
no
as fans want it, you're not going to get it.
There's also no getting around that. So, yeah, I agree with what y'all are saying.
No, he's going to dance around it. John Cena is fucked up for throwing him this bad bait because he can't answer it.
Yeah. No, it's good bait. It's good bait for John.
Cena been messy. He a bit messy though. He a bit messy for that shit. Speaking of which, let's talk about it. As previously reported, WWE announced that CM Punk will challenge John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship at Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia later this month. According to Dave Meltzer on Tuesday's Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE had reportedly planned on Punk going to Saudi Arabia for a while now, and it appears Punk raised no issues about going to Saudi Arabia for the premium live event. Meltzer stated that he was going months ago, and I had already asked about that when a couple of months ago when the show was first talked about, and he was in the original promo package, and then he was taken out of the promo package. I asked, am I supposed to see when Seth Rollins replaced him in that promo package that he's not going? And it's like, nope, he's going. So it's been known that he's going for months and probably all along. Meltzer noted that Punk has not voiced any issue about going to Saudi Arabia in months. In the past, Punk and The Miz got into it after Punk made his WWE TV return on WWE Backstage, where he said he changed the culture. After The Miz took a dig at CM Punk online, Punk responded, "Go suck a blood money covered dick in Saudi Arabia, you fucking dork," via social media in 2019. Punk later deleted the comments, and Punk and Miz eventually buried the hatchet when they met in 2023 when Punk visited WWE Raw. CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Undisputed Championship is scheduled for June 28th, WWE Night of Champions at the Kingdom Arena in Riyadh. It will be aired on Peacock in the US and on Netflix internationally, and CM Punk played along with all the talk that's been going on since the match was announced by posting "We getting Arab money" on his social media this week. So, and then John Cena also played along with it by posting The Miz giving a skull-crushing finale from Greatest Royal Rumble 2018 in Saudi Arabia as well. So they're both playing along with it on social media. It's just very hard to get around it within the context of the kayfabe storyline. And I think that's why it, like promos like last night, promos like Monday, it's not connecting with a lot of people because there's a lot of real life conversations to be had, because sadly, some people view wrestlers as role models and people to look up to for political stances. These are not the people to be looking up to. They are carnies, they are workers, they are liars. This is what they do. Stop following these people. Stop dying on hills for these people, because these are not the people to die on hills for. They will do anything for an extra zero on their paycheck, and Saudi Arabia is the best way to get that extra zero.
Keyword: workers. Workers. They're workers. Their job is to work people. It's their job. like you're not getting around it, bruh. You're not getting around it, but it ain't gonna happen. Whatever we think we gonna hear, whatever we think we gonna get, it ain't happening. Not in this lifetime. Not in this
work people. They work people. They work people.
And it's cool to have them as like the people that you look up to as like that's the character that you want to be. But if you're listening to their words and taking it in real life context, unless they're sitting down having like a podcast or telling you like this is me talking, you can't buy it because they're working. They're working. They're at work. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy how it is so difficult for some folks to kind of like separate and understand the two, that they are in an entertainment industry, a weekly entertainment industry, compared to when your role model is a sports athlete. That is who they are. That is who they are. That's them in real life and on that field or court. When they step in that ring, they become characters. So You gotta just know, humans, man. You gotta know your life, man. Just turn the brain on and understand it, and we should all be good. But no, you ain't getting no Saudi answers from CM Punk.
Nope. He's just gonna go skate around it for a while.
SP, you sound so disappointed.
I'm not disappointed. I'm not surprised. I knew this was gonna happen. As soon as he goes on an IG live and he says, "Oh, I never said I hated Saudi Arabia. I've never been to Saudi Arabia." I was like, "Oh, you're going. You're definitely going. You're definitely going."
That was a dead giveaway. And I think it's just one of those things, like where, it makes him a massive hypocrite.
I never said it is crazy.
Spade is a spade. We got to call it right. A spade is a spade. And the fact that he's doing it, I mean, that's where I think a lot of people are disappointed with. Where it was like, maybe that last glimmer of hope that people have for CM Punk. Because, again, when he went back to WWE, people already saw what we were getting from him. We were kind of seeing the corporate feel that a lot of people, that something, a big part of him was against. We saw that rebel spirit that he had is gone. And then this was kind of like the little glass glamour of hope of like, maybe let's go to Saudi Arabia. He has some morals, because last year he didn't go. And then now that shit is all gone.
It is what it is. Let's move on to PW Insider Elite reports that WWE is planning a big push for Jade Cargill. Heading into next month's WWE Evolution 2025 event, the premium live event is being held in Cargill's hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. WWE is said to be planning to use Cargill to help promote the show and sell more tickets. This reportedly includes a major push for Cargill in the coming weeks. Additionally, WWE reportedly plans to resume the feud between Jade Cargill and Naomi, with a rematch planned between the two for the premium live event. Naomi has recently spoke about wanting a rematch with an added stipulation against Cargill. WWE is reportedly expected to start its storylines for Evolution this week, which we saw on Monday Night Raw. We'll get to shortly. Naomi, of course, won the women's Money in the Bank ladder match at last Saturday's PLE. She can now cash in the briefcase anytime, anywhere on WWE Women's Champion of her choice for up to a year. Jade Cargill previously defeated Naomi in April at WrestleMania 41 Night 1. My question to you guys, do you think Jade Cargill will be the one to win the WWE Women's Championship to facilitate Naomi cashing in on her based on this report? JJ?
I mean, it would make a good circle story. Yeah. I mean, it would really
JJ?
like.
Am I frozen or something? I don't know.
I saw ya. Yeah, you were frozen for a little while. Like, I mean, yeah, but I don't think that they're gonna make a Jade title win a launching pad to get cashed in on her for our first run. Like, I don't see that. Like, that would be kind of shitty if that would happen. I think her first major championship win will come at a big event like a SummerSlam or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble or something like that. I just don't see her literally being the launching pad to a Naomi cash-in to elevate her story. I don't think Jade is the piece needed for that because Naomi can kind of just do that to anyone else. It would make a good feud when one of them is champion. Maybe it could be Jade taking the championship from Naomi when she cashes in on whomever she cashes it in on. But I don't see Jade being a piece of Naomi's cash-in. I don't see that happening, unfortunately. I don't see that. And I hope I don't see that happening because that would be a bad move.
What do you think, Josh?
I kind of don't see it happening. At the same time, I'm like, they're talking about a push, right? They're talking about a push. I'm like, what, what do you necessarily mean by push? Like, what's the definition WWE for push, right? For the show. So the push is, hey, we're gonna make a world champion and have Naomi cash in. I don't think that's a push I would want to see. That's me, but
I would understand that as like she wins the title, Naomi cashes in on her, but she's eventually the person that beats Naomi for the title. That's still a push.
Oh yeah, I mean, but wouldn't that be more like down the line when it comes to that? Because the report is that they're pushing. The push is for like leading to evolution, right? From what I understand, like that's what they're talking about.
So I'm saying she gets pushed to the WWE woman because he's never even got a shot at the WWE Women's Championship before. That's still a push if she's getting a shot at it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's just I don't know. I wouldn't want that. I'm actually on JJ's side on that, but I mean, if it happens, it happens. It's a title, you know. It gets it back. This is kind of what people kind of been waiting for, I guess, for Jade. You know, they're like, hey, you know, you signed her, you made her a big deal, a big signing. So this is kind of, you know, this is kind of the ball's in her court. It's like their company's gonna be behind you. You're gonna have to work your ass off. So I mean, I hope, like, you know, on the flip side, I just hope that, you know, if it's a big opportunity for her, just for her not to fuck it up.
Right. I mean, I just have to think right now, like going into obviously later part of the wrestling year, like girls like Jade Cargill and Stephanie Vaquer are going to be like monumental favorites to win the Women's Royal Rumble in 2026. Like, so whoever is getting the push in the title picture that is not one of them, I would favor the other one to win the Royal Rumble.
I kind of agree with some of the comments we're seeing in the chat here. Like, I don't think that I think that Jay can eventually win the Royal Rumble. I don't think she's ready for that just yet. I think if you give her like a mini push into the title picture, I understand that to promote evolution.
I prefer that more.
Long term, her winning the Royal Rumble. Nah, I don't see that. Stephanie Vaquer. If those are the two choices, it's definitely Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, I mean, I come on, dude. You don't ask me who I want to see win the Royal Rumble. Like, I want to see Stephanie Vaquer throw all 29 of them bitches out the fucking match.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with, like, yeah, he does make a good point when it comes to, like, hey, me being in the title picture. I think that would be a good thing for her. I just don't think necessarily being the main event or being, like, the champion, I don't think it's in the cards for Jay right now. But then also, because of that other rumor that came out, who knows how long she's going to be away. So, yeah.
Oh, the acting.
Yeah, she just got a gig in a new film with Jonathan Majors. That was reported by Deadline earlier this week. So that's what I'm saying. The push would be now. Then she, you know, after Naomi cashes in, Naomi can get a good reign. She'll go and film the movie. And we've seen with Liv Morgan filming a movie that takes, like, most wrestlers, it seems like 2-3 weeks. They're not out for that long.
So they're not like the star of the movie that requires 3-4 months away.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, Roman Reigns is an exception to that.
I mean, no, Roman Reigns was already going on vacation. Like, he probably was filming his movie for like 2-3 weeks as well.
No, that's what makes it funny. It's just, I don't know, because that other thing, Street Fighter thing, I'm like, oh, he's playing a prominent character, so we'll see.
I would just say about Jade, though, I think Jade needs to win the United States Championship first. I think that would be a good launching pad for her. She would need to start with winning a championship first, not the championship.
Yes, to get that fucking belt off of Zelina, please. So I'm for that.
That should have happened yesterday. And every day that happens, I will say that should have happened yesterday.
Agreed. final note before we get into this week's Monday Night Raw, Bodyslam.net is reporting that WWE will host another draft involving wrestlers from Raw, SmackDown, and likely NXT this year. It looks like it could happen somewhere between SummerSlam in early August and season premiere episodes of the top shows in September. However, there's a chance Triple H will trigger it post Clash in Paris, which happens on August 31st, rather than straight after SummerSlam or on 2nd and 3rd of that same month. Either way, it does look like the 2025 draft will be shifted from the post-WrestleMania slot it was held over the last few years. Both the 2023 and 2024 drafts took place across late April and early May. Before that, WWE held their talent shakeups in October between 2019 and 2021, and there was no draft in 2022. For reference, a 2025 version would be the 19th core draft the company has done since introducing the concept in 2002. Of course, various superstar shakeups, wildcard rules, and transfer windows have taken place in between the mainline drafts as WWE continues to struggle with the premise of an ironclad rosters with next to no movement between them. Bodyslam noted that the reason for this latest counter shift is to allow ongoing storylines to reach a natural conclusion. Then, in theory, WWE's creative team would be starting fresh with brand new stories post SummerSlam / Clash in Paris PLE. So
Cap.
there you have it.
Cap. It's all cap.
Very much so. Very
It's all
much so.
cap. These niggas are gonna have a draft, and then they're gonna have a fucking 5-month portal because they're gonna basically be going to each other's shows through Survivor Series, through the Royal Rumble, through WrestleMania. So that's actually a fucking 8-month portal. So it's cap. Ain't shit gonna be locked in until mid-2026 at least. At least.
I can't see that. Any big draft moves you think should happen in this year's draft? I'll start with Josh. I'm going to try to reboot my internet so I'm not frozen as much. Go ahead, Josh.
You said any big moves?
Yeah.
Maybe what? Cody to Raw? That's the only thing I really see happening. Switching up the champions, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know just because it's I think it's more of a network thing when it comes to the draft. So it's kind of they're gonna probably make the calls on that. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I think that's the only real big prominent name I could think of. Oh yeah, Cody to Raw. But then it's like everybody else gets used in the brands anyway. Like, so
I think the draft is a waste of time. I genuinely think the draft is a waste of time. Because they all end up on each other's shows anyway.
I mean,
like CM Punk is supposed to be a part of Monday Night Raw, but this nigga's been on SmackDown for the past how many months? Cody Rhodes just shows up on any episode of Raw.
Well, CM Punk's on Raw. CM Punk's a Raw star.
Yeah, I know. That's what CM Punk's on Raw. He goes to SmackDown now quite a bit.
Very freely.
Yeah.
John Cena has the top title for SmackDown. Yes, he's on Raw very often.
I see Jacob Fatu twice a week, almost every week.
No, Jacob Fatu, he's usually on SmackDown. I don't see him on Raw that much.
Sure. Yo, this shit is so convoluted that it just doesn't. There's no exclusivity there. There's no Then now we got the fucking division showing up on both shows whenever they see fit, whenever they just choose.
I'm gonna say Cody on Raw, Jey Uso on SmackDown.
Yeah, because the only ones that it really affects is like more the mid carders, anything like that. Any top star, they go to any show they want.
Go whenever they want. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's more the mid card because we kind of seen it. Remember when the second episode of Raw on Netflix, Damian Priest had the main event, and then he got shipped over to SmackDown, and they kind of make that a thing like, oh yeah, Damian Priest is on SmackDown now. He hasn't been back on Raw ever since. So it only really affects like the mid card guys to that aspect. But I
think there's gonna be some top stars moving over because that's what needs to happen. They need to freshen up the top stars on each of these brands. I think that's what the draft is gonna be for.
Yeah, I think you know, and I also could say that it also has to do with the networks, what the networks want. Networks have certain guys they might want for their, you know, for their brand, and that plays a part too. So I do agree with the Cody thing. I think Cody to Raw. You know, Jay, I mean, yeah, I can see him going back to SmackDown and pair him back up with his brother. His brother ain't doing much anyway. You know, being fat over in SmackDown, I guess. So, you know, form back the Usos, I guess, some way, somehow.
Yeah, they wilding with these Cena days. These Cena's days, he's burning through them. He's at 18 now. He's gonna be up to 17 left after next.
And now he's forced to wrestle R-Truth because
on TV again.
On TV because he fucked up. So now he's burning an appearance.
I mean, I don't know if we saw the schedule though. He was heavily booked in June, but I think he's going to be out pretty much all of July.
Yeah, he's not going to be involved in Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, he's going to be out all of July pretty much. So then he's going to be back for SummerSlam season. Then he'll probably take a month off and then come back for Survivor Series season.
No, he's going to be in Clash in Paris at the end of August.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
So. But let's talk about Monday Night Raw this week. Speaking of John Cena, he kicked off the show on Monday as well. Last week's Monday Night Raw did 2.7 million, which was up from the previous week. But John Cena wanted to talk about R-Truth costing him the main event of Money in the Bank, saying that he only has 19 dates left and he wants their best to step up to face the undisputed WWE champion, which led to CM Punk coming out to rip into Cena for trying to tear down the establishment that built him up because the people never accepted him, but those people gave him the name of the voice of the voiceless. Punk also said that he didn't want the WWE title when he came back. Bullshit. But now he has to become a monster to defeat the monster and challenge Cena. Cena accepted, but said that Punk had to follow him to Saudi Arabia at WWE Night of Champions to get the shot, which Punk accepted. Then Seth Rollins came out to tease the Money in the Bank cash-in. AJ Styles picked up a win over Chad Gable in a pretty solid opener, while Roxanne Perez beat Kairi Sane, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley in a great four-way first-round matchup to advance to the Queen of the Ring tournament. Nikki Bella made her return, but was interrupted by Liv Morgan, who called out the WWE Hall of Famer for forgetting to mention her during her promo, praising the women's division. After saying that Nikki was jealous that Liv had respect, a title, and a man, Bella wondered if Dom had a new boo in Roxanne Perez, which led to Liv laying out Bella with the Oblivion, and then to basically set up a feud between them heading into Evolution. Then we had Becky Lynch came out to accuse Lyra Valkyria of trying to injure her before calling her out to the ring, but she got the returning Bayley instead, who attacked Becky from behind before Lynch bailed. But no time for that. R-Truth is here. He came out for a fantastic promo where he buried the Truth character, cut his dreads to the shock of the fans, and announced his rebirth as Ron Killings to a huge pop from the crowd. Sami Zayn defeated Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Braun Breaker in a stellar four-way first-round match to advance in the King of the Ring tournament after an assist from LA Knight taking out Braun Breaker. And GUNTHER beat Jey Uso in a splendid main event to win the World Heavyweight Championship, ending Uso's reign at 51 days to the dismay of Rikishi. Josh, me and JJ talked in depth about this week's Monday Night Raw. What did you think about Monday's show?
I actually liked the Monday show. I thought it was a really good Monday Night Raw. Really enjoyed it. The main event, I thought it was a good main event. Obviously Jay losing, it is what it is when it comes to that. It was bound to happen. They made too many, they made too many teasers on it. Jay had the match. Money in the Bank got beat up. Then he goes in to the main event against Gunther, all fucked up. I mean, that was a little. I mean, it is what it is when it comes to that. But everything else was, I thought it was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, me and JJ, we kind of agreed, and Romeo did as well. This was the best episode of Monday Night Raw since the Raw after Mania. So a lot of eventful stuff, including what happened in that main event. But there's now a real reason why Gunther defeated Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship on the June 9th WWE Raw episode has now been revealed. Some fans have questioned the decision to have Jey Uso lose the gold back to the man he originally beat for the title at WrestleMania to end main event Jay's 51-day reign. But per Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, this title change happened because Triple H made the call to make the planned Gunther versus Goldberg matchup for the World Heavyweight Championship. Meltzer specifically wrote the following about WWE. He says, "It was confirmed to us. The reason this happened is because Paul Levesque made the call to make Gunther versus Bill Goldberg on the July 12th Saturday night's main event a title match, likely since it was going on the same day as All In Texas. Gunther versus Goldberg was always going to be the retirement match, and it was always going against All In Texas on NBC, with the idea of maximizing that day with the big match not on Netflix but on free network television. Goldberg versus Gunther hasn't been confirmed at the time of this show, but with Jey Uso having lost the title, it looks as if WWE could have plans to reunite the Usos. This comes courtesy of Corey Haynes of BodySlam.net, who notes how WWE had planned to reunite Jey and Jimmy Uso as a tag team match at some point this year. With main event Jey having lost the World Heavyweight title, a full-on reunion with Big Jim could well be on the cards sooner rather than later. Interestingly enough, Xavier Woods took to social media in the aftermath of Jay's loss to Gunther, with Woods and Kofi Kingston shown laughing at the ring general regaining the World Heavyweight Championship. Of course, the New Day are nowadays the World Tag Team Champions, not to mention their extensive history with the Usos, so this could be a teaser of what's to come. JJ, what do you think about the reasoning to make Goldberg versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship being the reason why they put the title back on Gunther? You said it earlier, and I think this says it best, this report. This is Triple H booking like he's Vince McMahon. This really is.
Jey Uso falling to the white man once again. Yo, what kind of horseshit reason is this? This is so awful. Like, if this was the actual reason, this is so bad. Like I'd rather not have a reason than to have this reason. I'd rather them had not said shit, or I'd rather not have heard shit. Instead, I'd rather have just seen the day, the end at the 51 days, call it a day, keep it pushing. We got the Usos potentially reuniting. This actually makes it worse. This makes it so much worse. Like, they did it for fucking a retiring Goldberg? Like, are you kidding me? Like, yo, this is so fucking abysmally Vince McMahon. Like, this is such a Vince move. This is so triple. This is fucking Hunter McMahon, bro. This is Hunter McMahon happening right now. Like, oh my God, why is this so bad? I swear to God, I had rather have not have heard the reasoning. This just makes it so much worse. This just doubles down on the dumb shit that he's done and said over the past 2 weeks. And this just like, all right, things come in threes, right? Dumb press conference, dumb tweet, dumb booking decision. Here we go. Here you go. You got it.
The trifecta.
Josh, what do you think about this report, as well as the report of the Usos potentially reuniting?
I mean, we knew something was gonna happen with Goldberg. He doesn't need another fucking title match. He's lost how many times in every single last title matches he's had. I get it. They're trying to bring in viewership because they're scared of All In. Because they have 2 other shows going on that weekend, so they want to make Goldberg feel important and feel like his match gives a shit. So I get it on that aspect, but I mean, on the expense of Jey Uso, yeah, I see why Rikishi went on his rant.
Now it makes sense.
I mean, Rikishi was gonna rant no matter what. Rikishi was gonna rant no matter what. But it's just a fact.
He's like this is vindication.
It's like actually it makes it valid though this time.
Yeah. And also it's just it's very unfortunate that it came to like this end like now. 51 days, and then even if you really dissect his title reign, it wasn't a good title reign.
That shit was ass.
And it was no fault to Jey. It's no fault to Jey.
It's fucking.
But I mean, him going back with reunited with the Usos. I don't know. I mean, do I really need to see it? Him reuniting with Jimmy. I mean,
to be fair, the Raw Tag Team division needs it.
No, they need it. Don't get me wrong, they need it. But the fact that they made Jey Uso like this thing now is kind of like, do he need to go back to a tag team? It's like, I mean, the Usos work well together. I mean, they work great. I mean, they are a great team, and Jimmy definitely needs it way more than Jey needs it. So in that aspect, I'll be fine with it. But it's just a fact that you made Jey such a thing now that it's like, he's just not a tag team guy. Like, this is not who he is anymore.
I think he still is a tag team. He's a better tag team wrestler than he is a singles wrestler. Yes, he's a star and he's very popular.
No.
But I think there's more mileage out of the tag team Jey Uso than
but that's what I mean. No, but that's what I mean more of, like, as in like his ring work, he's not, but because of the character and what they did with him on that aspect, they made him a thing that is like, oh, does he? But I mean, seeing the Usos again, I mean, it will be cool. It's just a matter of what versions of the Usos are we gonna get? Because again, Jey has become a thing. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they go with that. It gives Jimmy again something to do because he's been struggling, and again, he needs it more. So you bring them back together. Have another match with New Day, that's a big rivalry that's always been, at the end of time. So I mean, that'll be a good thing for Raw. I do see that being a thing for Raw.
We do have a super chat donation here from Dion Jenkins. Thank you so much, Dion, for the support. He says the Punk haters are about to be eaten good off this for a while. I'm wondering if he gets booed in Saudi Arabia. No. Because Saudi Arabia, like we got to start realizing that the online community is not the community that are always in the building at these events, and I doubt the online community that know of CM Punk and his comments about Saudi Arabia are going to be in the crowd at Night of Champions.
Yeah. Then the ones that's going to be there are not like inside WWE like media followers, like they're going to attend as fans. They're going to attend as fans, and they only get to see these guys like 3-4 times a year at max.
And the Saudi crowd, to their credit, I mean, the Saudi crowd too is a different type of crowd. They're more, I would say more positive. They basically, if they get anything out there, they're basically cheering for it. So that's why I don't see it being a thing where they kind of just boo. I don't see that being a thing at all. I think they're gonna be excited seeing CM Punk.
Agreed. And we got thank you for the super chat donation again, Dion, and anyone else who wants to send one. Show your support. That's the best way to have your comment highlighted on screen and us discuss about it a little bit. We got Brie Bella in the news this week, and she is looking to be joining Nikki in a return to WWE, according to a new report. TMZ reports that Brie is in talks to return to the company for a run alongside her sister at WWE Evolution. The site reports that Brie is pissed, quote unquote, presumably in storyline about Liv Morgan referencing Nikki's divorce on Raw, and it's not clear if Brie would be in a prospective matchup. Brie last competed during the Women's Royal Rumble match in 2022. And I know there's a lot of conversation from people that think that, you know, Nikki's a bigger star than Brie, and 100% I can see that there is an argument for that, but there is no argument. The Bella twins are bigger stars together than they are separately. That's the big draw, and that's what we were talking about on Tuesday on Rated Raw Review, because Romeo was more about, oh, they need to do Nikki versus Liv. No, the bigger matchup is the Bella twins versus Liv and Raquel.
Yeah, I mean, that is true. I think together they're a lot stronger. Obviously, if you're trying, I think he's more trying to say like, oh yeah, Nikki's a better twin, better wrestler, which is true because Brie, especially after she came back the second time, I mean, she was not very good. She wasn't very good.
I will just say this was good while it lasted. This was good while it lasted. This will be a very nice piece of memorabilia. Because this is never going to happen again.
You can look, but you can't touch. You keep dreaming about the stars above.
This show has gone off the rails.
It's the best theme song. Come on, man.
That shit is a bop, son.
It's a bop.
That shit is a bop.
I want someone to freestyle on the beatbox version of the Bella Twins theme.
I don't think I've hated that theme as much as I hated
that shit drop.
It's a mystery. You don't know why. You can look, but you can't touch. All right. I'm looking forward to the Bella Twins. The most influential.
I'm 3 seconds from quitting.
I feel like we've been in the fucking WWE universe for way too long. Like we feel like a fucking vortex right now of WWE.
In an interview with Gambling Industry News, Omos revealed that he recently signed a new deal with WWE and will be with the company for years to come. Omos has not appeared on WWE television since April 2024. He had a short stint in Pro Wrestling Noah in the interim. He said, things are going very well. I can't complain. I'm really excited about what's to come. I've been training really hard and working on some new things, and I think it's going to be really fun ride ahead, especially because I just signed a renewal with WWE, and I will be there for years to come. This is WWE Stockholm Syndrome. You're in love with your abusers.
Yeah, I think that shit's gonna live rent free in my head every time a picture comes up. I'm just gonna hear why.
Why, Omos? Why?
I'm just saying, man. They haven't used them. Like they have not used them. It's like you resigned to somebody that benched you. Like what the fuck?
The biggest bench wrestler in the world today.
I promise
he was over in Noah, and he was actually doing good things in Noah, and then they fucking took. Oh wait, we need him. You didn't even fucking bring him back out. So what was the point of that?
No one misses him. No one misses.
No,
But
nobody.
they should use him. They should use
That's
him.
the thing, though, right? It's not so much that nobody like misses him. I think it's the fact that they're using him, right? He's good for like international, like, right? That's been proven, right? Because he was doing good things with Noah. So, like, if that was the aspect, right? If you're trying to build bridges with like other companies, you could use Omos for that, and that's what they're doing with Noah. But the fact that they put the tag team titles on him, right? He looked dominant. He actually looked decent in Noah. Then they took him out because, oh wait, WWE needs him back. They requested him back, and then for what? To use him in big giant bench again because he has not been seen.
Fucking put him in 2-on-1 handicap squash matches that no one ever asked for.
Yep.
Yeah, we're not even getting that. We're not even getting that.
The last time he was on TV was April 2024. So everybody knows. There you go.
It's been more than
It's
a year.
crazy. That's crazy to me. And again, like he's not the best. Like he's not the best wrestler. Like but it's like, god damn. Like I mean, if he likes it there, I mean that's more power to him. He likes stability. More power to him. I can't be mad at him for that. But it's more like, bro, you're not gonna be used. Like. So
WWE NXT this week they did 726,000 viewers. The show featured Obafemi retaining the NXT championship against WWE LFG season 1 winner Jasper Troy the Monster in a fun Haas match main event. You then had Mariah May had her first vignette introducing herself to the NXT universe that was a takeoff of a Sabrina Carpenter concert intro and announced her new name as Blake Monroe. And more on that in a bit. JC Jane picked up a win over Lady Reed to retain the NXT Women's Championship, while Ethan Page retained the NXT North American Championship over Sean Legacy in a good opener. And then Ricky Saints made his return to the to NXT to get some revenge on Ethan Page. But a lot of the talk from NXT this week had to do with Mariah May's new name, Blake Monroe. The Rifle reports that on June 10th, WWE filed to trademark Blake Monroe, the new name for former AEW talent Mariah May. Bodyslam.net's Corey Haynes reports that the name was inspired by two different people. The last name Monroe comes from Marilyn Monroe, which plays into the glamour gimmick. Her first name, Blake, reportedly comes from May's niece. May seemingly confirmed the news about the first name earlier this week, sharing a photo of herself with her niece. And also, so it's aware, Cultaholic confirmed that Blake Monroe is also the name of an old school adult film actress as well. What was y'all reaction to Blake Monroe? My reaction to Blake Monroe was like,
tell me,
dude, Mariah Monroe was right there. It's right there. Mariah is such a good first name. I am sorry. I don't care what y'all tell me. Y'all could tell me it's the name of her deceased grandmother is our first name. It don't make it a good name for wrestling.
Yeah, I think it was the what was it? It was the mom. I mean, they said her niece or something, right?
Yeah,
like,
I just said it in the report. It was her niece.
I guess her niece, right? And I'm just like, it doesn't make it good. It's like, so the fact that you have people, don't make fun. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, if it's not a good name, people are allowed to say it's not a good fucking name. Is it the worst name? No. Do I like it? No. I mean, it is what it is, right? I mean, she could have done something better. I do like the Mariah Monroe name more. I don't know. I'm not feeling the name. It's not the worst. It's just whatever.
It's just far from the best.
Yes. Yeah. That's the best way to say it. It's far from the best.
Dog. This shit got Frankie Monet written all over it.
Oh shit! I forgot about Frankie Monet.
Somebody said, what somebody said, like when they announced
I'm lying.
NXT, somebody said, like, yo, they should have just fucking gave her Frankie Monet. They fucking own it. Just give it to her. They should have just done that. Somebody legit said
it would have fit her better.
Shit
actually,
is terrible. I don't care about the story. I don't care about how it was developed. They just ruined one of my favorite people by calling her Frankie Monet 2.0. like, why? Why did they do this to this girl? Like, I want her to succeed in this company so bad, because I know how much of a dream this was. And for anyone that does not know Frankie Monet, that is who the WWE used for a name to ruin Taya Valkyrie with. Yeah,
that's a good shout. I totally like that got Thanos snapped out of my memory. That was such a good shout. Such a good shot. That popped me so much, legit.
Like, why do this? Like, y'all completely destroyed a career like this. So what y'all gonna do? Double down on it?
Pretty much. PW Insider Elite reports that WWE officials are showing interest in TNA wrestling star Mike Santana. Santana recently made some in-ring appearances in WWE NXT, facing Tavion Heights and later challenging Trick Williams for the TNA World title on NXT TV. According to the report, Santana impressed WWE NXT higher-ups with his performances on the brand. Additionally, WWE's interest in Mike Santana reportedly increased after his recent match with Trick Williams. In terms of Santana's TNA contract, it's reportedly slated to end later this year. His recent interest from WWE officials could potentially have an impact on his wrestling future. And then Wrestling Observer Newsletter reported that they view Mike Santana and Joe Hendry's recent runs in NXT comparable to Jordan Grace's run in NXT in 2024, which preluded her signing with the company. So WWE is very specific on who they're using actively on NXT television. They are only using people that they plan on signing when they're available. It's literally like an audition process.
I love that the chat is not going to be able to unhear that now.
Frankie Monet. Said Solomon Crow. Oh shit! Sammy Callahan, Solomon Crow.
Damn, that's
God. Y'all are going in. Y'all going in. Blair Davenport was atrocious. Yes. Frankie Monet was atrocious. Oh man, this is great. This is great. Just keep putting the bad name changes that WWE has had in the chat. And then finally from WWE, WWE Evolve this week, you had Wes Lee. He picked up a win over Cappuccino Jones in a solid main event. The debuting Jamar Hampton, formerly known as Troy Yearwood from WWE LFG, picked up a win over Itzgal, and Nikita Lyons and Zeta Steele scored a victory over Mason Holiday and Layla Diggs. Who?
Nikita Lyons.
Yeah, but she's in Evolve. She's fallen down to Evolve at this point.
I mean, she can't stay healthy for 5 weeks.
Yes, too bad for the American Cream, Busty Rhodes. Anyway, moving on to AEW verse now. AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite Collision Summer Blockbuster was on Wednesday, and I could say off the bat, this was a much better use of the 4 hours than last week. The ratings, they did 597,000 for Dynamite going up against the NBA Finals, but it was number 3 in the 18 to 49 demo, so that was really good, a 0.17, and they did 397,000 for Collision. The 4-hour show featured one of the best TV matches of the year so far, as Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay went to a 30-minute time limit draw in an absolutely tremendous opener to the show. You had some drama at the post-match when Swerve wanted a sudden death but was interrupted by the Death Riders, who surrounded the ring until the Young Bucks came out to attack Swerve. They delivered the EVP trigger, then handcuffed Swerve to the ropes, delivering the super kick party. Then the D-Riders handed the Bucks a bag with the thumbtack Swerve answers that he used on them at Double or Nothing. They went for a double super kick, only for Ospreay to step in the way and deliver on what he said on the mic a couple of weeks back, that he would take a bullet for Swerve, and he took the thumbtack super kick right to the face. Later, the Death Riders revealed that they had kidnapped, taped up, and gagged Hangman Adam Page. Jon Moxley cut a promo about All In Texas being do or die for Page, and everyone counting on him until Hangman headbutted him. The rest of the Death Riders attacked Page until the Ops made the save. Hangman vowed to hunt down the D-Riders, but he later ran into the Young Bucks, who said that they've been keeping Swerve Strickland busy for their friend Page. Bucks then said they want Hangman to win the AEW World title to bring it back to the Elite, but Hangman responded by telling Matthew and Nicholas off and told them to stay out of his, Ospreay's, and Swerve's business, which led to Prince Nana and Swerve overhearing all of this while checking on Ospreay in the trainer's room. A nice little development in the main story on AEW here. Mystico returned to pick up a victory over Blake Christian. Post-match, MJF and the Hurt Syndicate came out, with Max setting up a match with Mystico at next week's Grand Slam Mexico. This led to MJF calling the Luchador a sloppy Sin Cara, and the Hurt Syndicate jumping Mystico until Jet Speed and Mascarada Dorada made the save. Then the Hurt Syndicate beat Jet Speed and Dorada in trios action after they took out Commander earlier in the show. Post-match, MJF unmasked Dorada until Mystico came back out to hit La Mystica and to make MJF tap out in the post-match. TJ picked up a win over Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford in a solid matchup. You also, another solid match, saw Timeless Tony Storm defeat Julia Hart, with Mercedes Moné watching on, eating another steak dinner. Post-match, Monet sniffed Storm's hair and then whispered in her ear before attacking her until Mina Shirakawa made the save. But Monet then attacked Mina as well and then raised the AEW Women's World Championship. Monet also tweeted out a challenge to CMLL, a World Women's Champion, Zeusis, who accepted the challenge later in the show for Grand Slam Mexico this coming Wednesday. Kyle Fletcher scored a win over Anthony Bowens in a decent matchup. FTR interrupted an interview with Atlantis and Atlantis Jr., making fun of the legendary father and son before a brawl broke out, with Adam Cole making the save. Then the Don Callis family came out to join the fight with FTR before Bandito, Templario, and Brody King made the save to set up a 12-man tag on next week's Grand Slam Mexico. Bandito defeated the Beast Mortos in a straight-up banger for a standby matchup. Tekla picked up a win over Queen Aminata, who beat the shit out of Tekla in a fun, hard-hitting matchup. The Don Callis family and Hechicero beat Daniel Garcia and Paragon in a good 8-man tag main event. And the highlight of the show to me had to be the incredible history lesson video package for Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega's rivalry. That was one of the best pieces of business AEW has ever put together. That led to an in-ring confrontation, a contract signing between Okada and Omega, where Tony Schiavone announced that the winner at All In Texas will be crowned the inaugural AEW Unified Champion, introducing a brand new title. Both men signed and shook hands until Don Callis came out to interrupt. Omega said he knew every trick in Callis's book, but didn't see Okada attacking Omega from behind with the Intercontinental title to align with Callis. Don then gave Okada a police baton, who he attacked the rib cage, the diverticulitis of Kenny Omega, and knocked him out with it. He delivered a flying elbow drop right to the ribs, and then a second one to Omega while he was on a stretcher, which caused Kenny to start spitting out a ridiculous amount of blood in a superb angle to hype up this big time bout at All In Texas on July 12th. JJ, what did you think about AEW Summer Blockbuster this past Wednesday? Thought it was a really good show overall. I like how they spread it across the main event scene with Hangman, Jon Moxley, the Death Riders, the Young Bucks, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland throughout the 4 hours, and then the Okada and Omega stuff. Those were two great angles as far as the big matches coming up at All In.
No, this was good. This was a good summer blockbuster. Like, and this was one of the rare weeks where I didn't hate the Death Riders. Like, this was one of the rare weeks where I didn't hate their involvement in the show because the show wasn't all about them. Like I didn't mind their sprinkle into this show. Like, my God, that Swerve and Ospreay match. Jeez, man. That was incredible, dog. Like, that was incredible. Like, I just, damn, and it's like, they teased the sudden death, and then obviously all the shit happened. But yeah, that was fantastic. Like, even the girls didn't have themselves a bad outing with TJ and Megan Bain. Like it was pretty well spread. And then MJF rocking the MVP outfit, calling this nigga Sloppy Sin Cara fucking cracked me, bro. Like, I was like, nah. Yo, you are violent for that one, dude. Like, and then yeah, obviously getting damn, bro. And I gotta go back and watch these fucking matches between Omega and Okada again after that package. Like, shit. Like, it was, like you said, it was very well paced. Like, it was a very well paced show, and when you get a well paced show, the time doesn't feel like it's that drastic. I had to go back and watch a little bit of it because I was stressed out from Game 3 of the NBA Finals, like stressed. So there's some parts that I had to go back and take a look at, but overall, it was a really good show. And damn, bro, like, this nigga Don Callis just don't miss. Like this dude just, like, whoever the fuck he targets, like, he just gets.
Ibu of Wrestle Period said it best. Okada joining the Don Callis family is like KD joining the Golden State Warriors.
Bruh. And the way it started, it was almost like, damn. And it's like, when you go back and watched it now it's like, damn, they just laid the Easter egg right in front of you when Callis approached Okada and down questioned his involvement with Kenny Omega in the match, and why isn't it Kyle Fletcher and why isn't it Takeshita? And then it's like, these niggas just laid the Easter egg right in front of us and no one saw it. So, like, I enjoyed this episode of Dynamite. It was good. I didn't hate the Young Bucks involvement either. Like, usually some weeks they're really annoying. But this week I didn't hate it. That Sim Will taking that bullet for Swerve, man. Like, that was some cold shit, bro. And Swerve ain't got no choice but to respect this man now going forward, because this man bled for you. He literally bled for you. So that's a new level of respect right there. But yeah, I had a good time watching this, man. Had a good time watching this. And then closing it out with the teaser that everybody wants to see on American soil for the first time. Like, I enjoyed it, man. This was good. And that title is gorgeous. That title is beautiful.
I really like the title. I don't like the name so much, but I love how the title looks. I like the look of the title. And MCATs it was just these 2 weeks. I agree. 4 hours for a weekly wrestling show is way too long. It was only this week, and it wasn't on TK. This was WBD's decision, and we'll talk about other WBD decisions when we get to the news portion. But Josh, anything you want to say about this week's summer blockbuster?
Yeah. It was a better use of the 4 hours because I remember when they did it the prior week because I didn't get to talk about it. The first 2 hours of that show, Dynamite, was great, and then it kind of just fell off a cliff for me, a collision. This week I felt like it was a better flow. Like everything kind of just felt like one real show. So I thought they did a better job when it came to that. Like, you know, some of the angles that they were pursuing, they did it a little bit longer instead of feeling like, oh, we need to have fillers. Because, you know, like Swerve and Ospreay, they went half an hour, and it kind of felt longer than half an hour. The Omega Okada angle also went like a good chunk of time, but all those things mattered. You know, like it felt like it was important, especially when it comes when it comes to Omega and Okada, like how important they've made it feel. Kind of funny that this was teased at World's End, where we were like, oh shit, they're gonna do it, and the fact that now it's finally announced, the fact that they're making it this important. I mean, there's a big debate going on now. I think it's a good debate. It's a good debate for the AEW to have. But they made it. I thought they did also a good job because people did complain about shit like this. So like, oh, AEW needs to explain the rivalry. They need to explain why it's important. And guess what? We got a whole fucking video package of all the matches these two men have had to fucking lay it out right there. Hey, this is why this match is important. You know, and the fact that the meaning of Okada versus Omega, you know, this was kind of what put Omega on the map. I think a lot of us already knew Kenny Omega, but this was a match that kind of just put him on a bigger stage where we're just like, holy shit, like this man is legit the best wrestler in the world.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, it's one of those things where, like, the fact that we're getting it now, we're getting it in the US. To me, it doesn't matter if it's been years. It doesn't fucking matter what age they are. I think both of these guys are going to kill it. And the fact that we're getting it means something. And the fact that they find a way to make it feel important, you know, makes me want to watch it again.
There's someone that's saying that? Like, they're not that old.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, but
Romeo.
yeah.
It was Romeo.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Romeo
both
doesn't
still
think it's gonna be as
relatively
big.
young. Like, what the fuck? In wrestling terms, these cats is young.
To answer MCATs, yes, Mark Briscoe is going to be facing Okada at Grand Slam Mexico on Wednesday. He says, by the way, why is Mark Briscoe facing Okada? Another L for chicken, and they faced each other at C2. It makes no sense. It does make sense if you watch the promo. There was a promo that released, and they showed the video of him and Kenny Omega being friends for years since Kenny's time in Ring of Honor. And Mark Briscoe is always the guy that will stand up for his friends and his family. So he says he doesn't like what Okada did, aligning with Don Callis and attacking Kenny in that way. And he says he has history with Okada, but he said they've only faced each other once, one-on-one. So he wants this matchup at Grand Slam Mexico. He issued the challenge. Okada accepted. They explained why. If you wanted a why, they explained it in that promo, which I think Mark Briscoe is one of the best on the mic. It's amazing over the last 2 years.
And it's fine for Mark. Mark, we know he's gonna kill it. Like Mark has gotten to a point that we know whatever match he's gonna be a part of, he's gonna do great. So the fact that we're even getting Mark versus Okada, I'm fine with. Yeah, I mean, and then also to your point, they did explain it. If people are just not paying attention, that's on them. So it's like there's stories that don't need to be dragged out. This was explained in a set promo. Like he cut a promo, it was explained, and then they're getting the matchup. Sometimes that's all you really need in pro wrestling.
Yeah, for a TV match, all you need is a backstage segment or a promo to explain it. You don't need any elaborate like storyline and stuff like that. It's usually only acts that you have a storyline for a TV match when it comes to AEW. When WWE gives you AJ Styles and Chad Gable on Monday Night Raw, which ironically enough, you would think that's a great matchup, but it was probably the worst match on this week's Monday Night Raw. If you had never watched before, you never understood, it would just be a random matchup. But if you have been watching, you understand why it went down. And if you saw the promo, you understand why Okada is facing Mark Briscoe.
That just feels like a different energy, because that just kind of feels weird, because now all of a sudden matches need explanations. Like, since when?
This is fair, though. I like MCAS coming back. It's just like, I'm just tired of Briscoe taking L's.
Which is fair.
Which is fair. Which is fair.
Right. Because
I'm with you. I'm Mark Briscoe.
That man just every time he steps in the ring, he over delivers. Like, and it's like the expectation is that he over delivers when he's in the ring. Like, and it's like, all right, he's in the match. It's like, it feels underwhelming until you actually watch him perform.
Yeah, but then also like Mark, he's also in a, you know, he's in a road with Mark where it's like he doesn't necessarily need to like win matches. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy who's gonna be he's a great performer. He's great on the mic, but then also because of the circumstances that happened last year, that this is kind of like a win for him no matter what, like, because of everything, not only what he's been through, but we had zero expectations from Mark, right? This was kind of a situation where it's like, oh, he's always been a tag team guy. We know Jay has had, you know, a singles run. So the fact that Mark has taken the opportunity, he's made the most of it. For me, that's all I really need from Mark.
Yeah, I've said it after the Double or Nothing show. Mark Briscoe is very much 1997 Mick Foley. He's always going to be beloved. He's always going to be over with the fans, but he's never really going to beat any of the top stars. That was 1997 Mick Foley. I'm hoping eventually we could get to a 1998, 1999 Mick Foley with Mark Briscoe where he wins a top title, because I think he is that good. But for right now, I'm okay with him being 1997 Foley.
Yeah.
But we do have a super chat donation from our good brother Chuck Berries. Thank you so much, Chuck Berries, for the support. He says, being a late arrival to the New Japan dinner table, I appreciated the Omega versus Okada video package showing the history between these two warriors. Been missing out on New Japan all this time. Another reminder, we're over at patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat rewatching the Okada versus Omega series. Me and Jimmy, when he first watched it a couple of years ago, he was like, oh, that was like 4 3/4 stars. Then we rewatched it this week, and he was like, that's one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. Like, he appreciated it more because we were like pausing and going back on certain stuff, like missile drop kicks to the top of the head, Kenny doing like a full-on moonsault over the barricade to the floor from the ring. Like, there was just so many great moments in that matchup. And the thing that I caught the most from that first matchup is that Okada figured out a different way to counter the One Ring Angel in so many different ways in that matchup. And the whole story of the match is that Kenny can't hit his move to get the win on Okada. I love that as a simple story to follow throughout an incredible 45-minute matchup that never felt like 45 minutes at all.
Yeah, because to your point, when it came to that match, that was the biggest thing that came out of the match. They were like, "Oh, Kenny never did his finisher. Like, he never hit the move once." And we got what we got.
Yeah, great stuff. But yes, thank you for the super chat donation, Chuck Berries. And yes, I agree with Dre here. He says, I mean, if it's a 4-hour show, you better go out there and give a 30-minute match. My boy Swerve and Ospreay ain't no joke. Yeah, that was I think right behind Ospreay and Takeshita. That was the best, in my opinion, the best TV match of the year so far. But the question coming out of Summer Blockbuster and this week is, should Okada and Omega headline All in Texas? Because there's been a big ticket movement this week following the announcement of Okada versus Omega at All in Texas. WrestleTix had updated ticket numbers for the Globe Life Field Arena, Globe Life Field event coming up. They are currently at 17,485 tickets out, which is is an increase of 1,406 since last week. The current setup holds 2,983. I think they've even updated that to about 21,000 tickets, and they are 3,498, so about 3,500 away from hitting over the 20,000 mark. The Wrestling Observer newsletter notes that if the event can get to 2,177 tickets sold, it will be the third largest attendance in AEW history, and its largest in the North America. It is the third largest gate in AEW history and the company's largest gate in North America. With this ticket sale movement since the announcement of this matchup, I'm going to ask you first. I'll go with JJ. Should Okada Omega headline All in Texas over Moxley versus Hangman and Mercedes versus Timeless Tony?
Without question. Without question. Without hesitation. This is arguably the greatest series of matches in a rivalry in wrestling history. And you got it. You got it on American soil. Yes, without question, this should headline the show. Especially for TV sakes, if the championship for AEW is still going to be in a motherfucking briefcase. But for wrestling aesthetics, yes, this should close out the show. Because this will have a better finish, better match, better action, better story than either of those two matches combined.
Hey, that's a strong argument. I think you can't go wrong any which way with a lot of these options, but I mean Okada Omega, the fact that it's moved this many tickets, I think that makes it a stronger argument for them. It also should be noted that right now the plan is for the Rainmaker One Wing Angel side plates on the AEW Unified Championship to be permanent on the title to commemorate the two championships and their legacy that Okada and Omega brought into the unification matchup. And Fightful Select reported that this title will be viewed as another top championship for the promotion, not a mid-card or upper mid-card championship. So, Josh, I'll ask you, should Okada Omega headline All in Texas?
It's a tough. It's a lot tougher than I thought it would be to answer that. I think you headline it if the option is Mox wins the AEW title, he retains the title. I think this is the route you go. Just because, again, you want the crowd to go home happy. So if you go with this match, either person winning, I think you're having the crowd go home happy. But if the actual move is Hangman winning the title, I think you still make that a main event. But this is it's a really good argument just because of the tickets that moved. I didn't know it was gonna move that much. I was kind of shocked. And realistically, they said a week. It was technically like 5 or 6 days that those many tickets moved. So it doesn't calculate for from Wednesday to now. So who knows? Like more tickets moved already. But the fact that many moved in that that short amount of time, that's big time, because usually with AEW, when the tickets move that much, it's usually the week of the show, like the pay-per-view. That's where you get 2,000, you get 2,500 tickets moved. So the fact that you got close to 1,500 within less than a week, I think it's a good sign for the overall show, because I think this is what they were kind of waiting for. They were kind of waiting for that big jump. This is by far the biggest jump they've gotten, and I think that this is a momentum that they got to keep going. It'll definitely be past 20K, no doubt. If they get 30,000 in that building, I think that's a success. It's a good sign, but again, when it comes to the argument, when it comes to the debate, I think you go with this match. If you're determined to keep Mox as champion, you make this the main event. The other way around, if Hangman wins, I think the AEW World Championship should be the main event.
Dog, and I'm going to add this. My top argument with this whole ordeal is this match is one of those matches. This is not AEW, with all due respect, is not New Japan Pro Wrestling. This match will be unfollowable. You cannot follow this match. Anyone that follows this match, it will go downhill. You can't follow this match.
It would be ridiculously tough to follow this matchup. I think if I'm the booker, if you're planning on the Hangman Moxley matchup to be this like Avengers Endgame-esque thing of Will and Swerve come down to make the save for the Death Riders, and then the Bucks come out to help Moxley, and then you have the music of Eddie Kingston hits, and Darby Allin hits, and Bryan Danielson hits, and then Sting comes out to make another thing. Like, if it's something like that, yeah, that got a headline.
This nigga wants some WrestleMania 40 shit to happen.
Yo, I want them to go ham. The AEW Avengers has been a talk among the fan base for weeks now. That's what they're building it for, and that's why I love how interwoven all these stories are going into All in Texas. That has the main event. I do agree with JJ that it's unfollowable to the fact that if you are not going to put it in the main event, it can't open the show because that could kill the crowd opening the show, but it has to be right smack dab in the middle of the show. Smack dab in the middle where there's at least like 2 matches before the main event. At the very least, 2 matches has to be between Okada and Omega and what you're going to have be the headline. At this point, the way they booked it, unfortunately, I don't see Mercedes and Tony having a shot because I think it is an argument of Okada and Omega versus Hangman and Moxley. So depending on what you have planned, if Hangman's winning with this Avengers Endgame type ending, then that's the main event. If I agree with what Josh said, if it's Moxley's retaining, then definitely Okada and Omega has to headline.
Yeah,
I think they are. They gotta overbook this Moxley and Hangman. Moxley's been getting help from everybody and their mama for title matches for months now. This is the biggest show of the year. You have to overbook it with run-ins then. But yes, but
I do agree with
that's
that.
not the only big matches there. Those 3 matches we just mentioned, 3 announced matches for All in Texas. There's already 3 blockbuster matches announced, but Fightful Select reports that the company is planning to put another one up there as the Young Bucks the company is planning for the Young Bucks to be in a tag team matchup against Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland coming off the heels of the Summer Blockbuster. The matches build, of course, began with Summer Blockbuster with the Bucks attacking Swerve and delivering the double super kick to Will and Swerve. According to sources, the match has been planned for quite some time. Due to plans for Hangman versus Ospreay being kept secret, Ospreay's involvement at All In wasn't cemented until after the pay-per-view. It's unknown at this time if there will be any additional stakes to the matchup, but I was not down for this like a week ago. As far back as a week ago, I was not down for this, but the angle on Wednesday sold me, and now I'm here for it because I know those 4 guys are going to go out there and try to steal the show.
That should be a
Same. I 100% agree because I didn't mind it to an extent because it was like, we're getting the Bucks and we're getting a tag team match with at least something that feels like it matters. But I think it was kind of like, do we want to see Ospreay in a tag team match? I think he's good enough to have like a singles match at All In. But to be in a tag team with Swerve against the Young Bucks, who was arguably one of the greatest tag teams in the industry, in my opinion, it makes it mean something. But the fact that angle, like I thought they did an incredible job with the angle, not only how they did it where Ospreay basically, takes the bullet for Swerve, but the add-on to Hangman, he said, and they overheard what they said. Like, they did that very well. Each guy they've been absolutely killing it on that end.
We shall see.
But some big news that might affect the future of all of AEW is WBD is splitting up. Warner Brothers Discovery announced this week that it will be splitting into two different companies dedicated to different types of entertainment. One will be streaming and studios, while the other will be global networks. David Zaslav will be the president of the streaming and studios, while Gunnar Winvels will be the president of global networks. Warner Brothers Discovery announced on Monday they're splitting into two, and a new report had details on whether this would affect AEW. The split is expected to be completed by mid-2026. WBD is the media partner for AEW, and Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp spoke to a number of people about the matter. WBD spokespeople reiterated when the split will be expected to take effect, while sources close to the matter said that AEW has contracts in place and that as of this point, there are no changes planned. It was noted that AEW is still a focus for them, and it does not look as if AEW changes will be taking place as of now. The site goes on to make it clear that a quote going around online attributed to Zaslav that AEW programming gets 60,000 to 80,000 viewers on Max is completely made up, but in the future, this is going to be something that may take effect and may kind of AEW might have to make some changes in regards to where they're going to sign their next media rights deal. I don't think it's going to affect this current media rights deal that they signed last year, but the next one in like 2027, I think it's going to have some effect on that now that they've kind of split streaming and TV separate. And the whole big deal about the recent re-signing that they did last year was about them being on Max and on TBS TNT. So we'll see what happens there. Any thoughts?
No, I mean, in regards to that news about like, oh, what David, somebody just make that shit up completely, and basically, you know, the anti-AEW orators, they basically just ran with it. They thought they took it as truth. They didn't pay attention to what was said. That's all that was. It was just a bunch of shit that people got no lives on the internet trying to spew because they want a company to fail. It's kind of a weird thing. They want a company to fail. I'm like, I mean, I love, at the end of the day, I fucking love wrestling. I like when multiple companies succeed. Why? Because it's good for everybody. AEW might not be your cup of tea. I enjoy watching it. WWE might be your cup of tea. And they're doing great as well. But I never complained when, hey, they got the Netflix deal. I thought the Netflix deal was fantastic. It's just a weird fucking thing to want companies to fail at this point.
These people are weird. That is a fact. But someone who might not be with AEW for long is Private Party. Private Party haven't been on AEW programming for months after losing the AEW World Tag Team Championships to the Hurt Syndicate in January. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the team's AEW contracts are set to expire soon. It's unknown if the team have negotiated a new deal or if they are planning to return, but it does not seem like their future is solidified as of this point. What do you think, Top Guy JJ, about the possibility of Private Party leaving the promotion, and what do you think their future will look like?
Murky at best if they don't stay with AEW. Definitely don't go to the other side. Grass is not greener over there. I definitely would not do that. It's a tough spot for them. Like, I think this is a tough spot for them because, you know, they were given their moment after a very, very long overdue 5 years. But if it took them that long to recognize them, it's almost like what leverage are they going to have if they go to the other side? Like, they're going to have to literally like scratch and work their way up. Niggas will probably fucking get sent to Evolve or some bullshit. Or way down to NXT, like, and then they're gonna have to spend months, probably years, proving themselves. Like, they definitely wouldn't go to the main roster like anytime soon. So I don't think that side would be good for them. it's almost like you got to just kind of like stay where you are, or just find a whole new endeavor, period, or just find something else to tap into. Because they're in a unique spot. Like, they're a really good team, but it's like they're not a great team. So it's going to be tough to navigate where they can really go and hold water wherever they would go if it's outside of AEW.
Yeah, I think the fact that they've been left off TV since January makes me feel like they are going to leave. Because we've seen a pattern with that. If they leave you off TV, it's because they don't believe you're going to re-sign, and that's what's worrying me. I think that they are talented enough to make something and get a good deal from WWE and probably be on like NXT and help out the NXT tag team division. I just don't know what their future is going to look like if they do happen to, go over the hurdle of injuries, because injuries and setbacks like that have been like the biggest factor of why they might have not reached their potential in AEW more than anything to me.
Yeah, and it's been more with Quinn too. He's the one that's been like getting the injuries. Isaiah is usually okay. He's usually healthy. But the problem with Isaiah, as much as I love Private Party because I know them on the personal level, it's one of those things where he didn't get opportunity like Dante Martin did, right? Remember when his brother was injured, Dante Martin got opportunities, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, Dante's actually a really good worker. He's a good wrestler." Isaiah never got those opportunities, even when his partner was injured. So it's one of those things where it's kind of like they're a package deal. They kind of really need each other. And as far as they go, I think like their peak would be NXT. I think like obviously that'll be the best option for them. WWE being an NXT. As far as anything further than that, I really don't know, because it's been more about opportunities. It's been more about like they're a great tag team, but it's kind of like when you have a field of tag teams that are just like better, you're kind of just there. You know what I mean? So it hasn't really. It's a mixture of things. Because even when they got the tag team titles, the booking wasn't in their favor. Yeah. Let's call it like it is.
They booked that horribly. They booked that ring because in AEW a lot of times they feel like the person winning the title is the end of the story, and we've seen it way too often in the last couple of years where Daniel Garcia has the big build up. He just resigns. He wins the TNT championship, and then he wins the title, and it's just like. That's the end of the story, basically. Private Party, it was the same thing. We saw it a couple of years back with Thunder Rosa, where she won the AEW Women's World Championship, and they felt like, oh, that's the end of the story. We'll just throw some challengers at her. If she's the champion, we're not going to really invest and make a signature feud that's about this reign. And Private Party got nothing in returns of like signature feud. They were in a 4-way at Full Gear. They faced Crew and Top Flight on TV, and then they faced the Hurt Syndicate, and that was it.
Yeah, that's why it's unfortunate for them, and I do think that because of that, and because of they don't have like the leverage like Mariah had going to WWE, or like a Ricky Starks had going to WWE, just because they were on the news and all the stuff you was hearing. So those kind of talent had the leverage in that situation. Private Party, I just don't think they have that leverage, unfortunately. Yeah, but no matter what, man, I really hope things go well for them. No matter what, because I love these dudes. I've known these kids since 2016. House of Glory, Queens, New York, So on a personal level, I hope shit works out for them. I think they're gonna be fine no matter what. I think no matter where they go, they're gonna work their asses off. And if it's a situation where they do resign with AEW, it's a familiar place. They know what they're gonna get. They just it's one of those things where it's like you guys gonna have to step up.
I agree with the chat. The chat, a couple of people are saying we got ANJ Network saying the crazy thing is that there is an aspect of the grass being greener on the other side being TNA. Problem here is you might as well be in WWE. And then Senior Nerd says TNA seems better suited for Private Party than NXT, MLW too. Like I think they would have a future and a good prospects in NXT, but I think TNA there is a good argument for them to go there because of their connection to Matt Hardy. I think Matt Hardy could put in a word and want to make an angle of the Hardys kind of passing the torch to them.
I just get worried with anything TNA now based off of their partnership with WWE. Like, and that's why I didn't mention TNA at all. I just am genuinely worried.
Because I'm on the same boat just because it's like they go to TNA, guess what? They're probably gonna end up in WWE. So it's like doesn't really. It's like you're better off just going to NXT. You're better off going to NXT.
Yeah.
You're better off. Yeah, you're better off taking more money going to NXT.
So 2 hours ago, Sean Ross Sapp put on Fightful. Private Party are in a contract year and have some big interest. This week, Wrestling Observer noted that the former AEW World Tag Team Champions contracts are up sooner than later. As of now, we've not heard if injury time has already been added or if AEW plans to. However, Fightful learned in early June that WWE at least have preliminary interest in the duo before the frame of reference regarding their contracts was even available. Where we've not been told if they've been approached either for new contracts or by WWE. This makes me feel like they're going to WWE.
Like, if it happens, one, very happy for them, and obviously they would get to make some good money over there.
No.
It's just what happens when they are there. That's the only thing that I genuinely just get worried about with them, is that what kind of package are they coming into, where they're going to get catapulted to, what their gimmicks is going to look like, if they're going to change them up again, like if they're going to WWE them, and if they WWE them and just make them unfamiliar to what everybody knows and loves about this duo, like what's gonna happen then? Because like the thing I have a problem with NXT TV sometimes is because of how samey everybody is. Like there's just so many similar personalities. They are literally almost like cutting one promo across the whole show, outside of like your big stars and your NXTs, like your Obafemis, your Trick Williams, and those guys like that. But it just feels very samey, and I don't want them to fall in that samey lane. And if they fall in that lane, they're just not going to go anywhere there. It's just going to be like a vortex over there.
Shit, it's already starting to feel like a vortex. They're getting a bunch of AEW people at this point. So it's like,
like it's what it is. It is
what it is, man. It's like at the end of the day, it's a business. People got to make money. So it's like I'm not mad at it. Well, so like I'm not mad at it. I think AEW has been in a better position that it doesn't feel as like demoralizing. I think like last year when we were hearing the Lucha Bros were like leaving, it kind of felt demoralizing. But then that whole thing happened where it was like, nope, not leaving yet. But you know what I mean? Like the perception of that. Like it feels better now. Like if guys were to leave, like if it's not like a big star or anything, I think they're in a position where they're gonna be fine, because I think they already have like their established stars like Swerve, Ospreay. So it's one of those things where people jump ship. It's not gonna really hurt them as much.
Yeah, and then these rosters are just on both sides. They're just all so stacked. Like it's so easy to get lost in these gigantic rosters now. Like these rosters are bigger than they've ever been. Like the roster size is fucking massive. Like you could go a whole month without seeing certain people. Just it's a big deal.
final AEW note, an injury to report. PW Insider reports that Commander was pulled from his match on AEW Summer Blockbuster due to a legitimate injury. He was originally set to team with Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey against the Hurt Syndicate. A segment aired on the show with the Syndicate attacking Commander backstage. He was then replaced by Mascarero Dorada. It's unknown what type of injury he has at this time, but it reportedly happened in Mexico. So hoping Commander has a speedy recovery from that injury. But we'll finish off the converse with some ROH and some a little more news note. As ROH TV this week, you had Bandito. He picked up a win in the main event over Mansoor in a ROH World Title Proving Ground matchup. Atlantis Jr. and Templario defeated Magnus and Vladodor Jr. in a solid tag team opener. Red Velvet picked up a win over Harlan Lopez in an ROH World TV title Proving Ground matchup, and Preston Vance scored a victory over Evil Uno. Thanks to the Frat House post-match, John Silver made his return to lay out the Frat House recruits and reunite with Dark Order. So good to see John Silver back from injury. And speaking of someone who was supposed to be back from injury, but we haven't seen much of him, Danhausen. Danhausen's contract with AEW is another one that is set to come up, and it should be up next month. Fightful Select reports that the very nice, very evil one AEW contract is up in July unless injury time ends up being added to the deal. Danhausen returned at ROH Final Battle in December, but he has not appeared since then. The report notes that sources said that Danhausen was welcomed backstage at the event and that they believed he would be brought back into creative, but when he reached out several times afterwards, he was told that there were no plans to bring him back to TV that particular week. There's been no word of plans for him on TV, so it seems like he's another one that's going to be on their way out. Based on the popularity of Mr. Iguana, I think that Danhausen would be very popular in WWE.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. If you could go there to NXT, fuck with people, and hit them with the evil spell over there, and just have fun over there and make some money, go, fucking do it, man. And like when no one, I don't think is considering going there a downgrade. It's just worried about when you're a popular and you're a talented group, what happens when you get there. Like that's the only thing that's worried. It's just like these rosters are so goddamn stacked, man. So it's like you gotta now move ahead of a lot of people, which could ruffle some feathers because there's people that's been working there for years and they still haven't gotten any breaks or any shots yet. So, to just keep adding people, and then they're all jumping ahead of you, it's going to cause some frictions.
It's going to cause some problems, and people are probably going to be having to let go, and they're probably going to let go of some good talent along the way. But finally, for what we missed, you had TNA Impact this week. The show featured the Hardys picking up a win via disqualification over the First Class, thanks to outside interference from TNA World Champion Trick Williams. Post-match, Joe Hendry and Elijah made the save for the Hardys, but then the System came out to attack until the Rascals and Leon Slater made the final save to close the show with a big dive from Slater. The Inspiration made their in-ring return to the company after returning at Against All Odds as they picked up a win over Brittany Brooks and Messa Kate. Leon Slater defeated Jason Hodge in a very good matchup. Killer Kelly beat Jody Threat, Tasha Steeles, Indy Hartwell, Rosemary, Zaya Brookside, Danny Luna, and Tessa Blanchard in a rock-solid 8-4-1 matchup to become the number one contender for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. She will go one-on-one with Masha Slamovich coming up in 2 weeks' time for the title, so we'll see that in a few weeks over on TNA. But we've made it to Chrissy Love's favorite time of the show, best and worst of the week, moment of the week, and match of the week. We will start with best and worst of the week, and I will start it off. It's pretty simple. I mean, we started off the show talking about it. Best of the week, Ron R-Truth Killings. Worst of the week, Paul Triple H Levesque. JJ.
Echoed.
Josh?
Same. Best of the week, R-Truth. Worst, Triple H.
Moment of the week, since it didn't get a lot of love because it was overshadowed by the news of R-Truth, I'll give it to Jacob Fatu turning on Solo Sikoa. Josh?
I'm gonna go with that angle from Dynamite where Will took the bullet for Swerve.
That was a good one. That was in my consideration too. JJ?
I'm going with the black man with a weapon cutting his hair off on live TV. Ron Killings clipping those locks on live television. Fucking having everybody gasping like, holy shit, this is happening in real life.
Yo, sober guy had me dying. Yo, when he made that comment, watching that while he said that, I just couldn't stop. I was entertained. He said he wasn't gonna be funny anymore. He lied. He was hilarious. Ron Killings was hilarious.
And then we got matches of the week. I only have 10 this week. I'm very proud of myself. Only 10. Only 10. I've been done 20 and 15. JJ, just want to let you know. And this was a busy wrestling week, so I numbered it down to 10. 10, I got the Cody Nakamura Andrade priest matchup from SmackDown last night. Number 9, Octagon Jr., Aerostar, and Mr. Iguana versus LWO from Worlds Collide. Number 8, Bandito versus Beast Mortals from Summer Blockbuster. Number 7, Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria from Money in the Bank. Number 6, Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, Penta, and Braun Breaker from Raw. Number 5, Ethan Page, Laredo Kid, Javon Evans, and Ray Phoenix from Worlds Collide. Number 4, Gunther versus Jay from Monday Night Raw. Number 3, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Number 2, Vikingo versus Gable from Worlds Collide. And number 1, Swerve Osprey 2 from Summer Blockbuster. JJ.
All right. So I'm going to go Gunther versus Jey Uso. I'm going to go with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm going to go with Vikingo and Gable. I'm going to go with the Fatal 4-Way from Monday Night Raw. And then I'm also going to go with, of course, Will and Swerve from Dynamite.
Josh?
Number 3, I got the men's Money in the Bank match itself. Number 2, Vikingo versus Chad Gable. And number 1, Swerve versus Osprey, opener of Dynamite.
Very nice. Good stuff this week. And then finally, we'll end things off with final predictions for tomorrow morning's NJPW Dominion show. We'll only be giving prediction for the big matches on this show, but we will also see kickoff matchup with the Young Lions, Kazuchika Morishima and Shomo Kato versus Daike Nagai and Masatoro Yasuda. You also got the Bullet Club War Dogs versus House of Torture with a new member of House of Torture being revealed. El Phantasmo and Shoto Umino will versus TMDK's Zack Sabre Jr. and Roye Uyawa. You got Hiroshi Tanahashi's final road as Tanahashi will face Yuya Uemura. For the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, you got Yo and Master Wato defending against the House of Torture's Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. For the IWGP Tag Team Champions, you got the Great Okan and Callum Newman of United Empire defending against Tomohiro Ishii and Tai Chi. And then the first match we'll give prediction for the Never Openweight Championship, Konosuke Takeshita will defend against Bolton Oleg. He defended against Oleg earlier this year, and because the G1 is coming up, I think Takeshita is going to have big things in the G1, as has been reported he's going to be in this year's tournament. So I think he drops the title here. I'm going with Bolton Oleg. Josh?
I'm gonna go with Konosuke. I think he retains.
JJ?
I don't know the other guy, so I'm definitely going Konosuke.
In a dog collar chain match, it's going to be the Bullet Club War Dogs David Finlay versus House of Torture's Evil. I'll never go for House of Torture, so I'm going for David Finlay. JJ.
I'm never in my life picking Evil in a match. So he's up there with Great Okan for me for dirt shit. So yeah, David Finlay for sure.
Josh.
David Finley, and Evil looks like a villain from Pootie Tang in that picture.
Oh,
Pootie Tang!
For the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship, it's the battle for the future of New Japan. Yota Tsuji defends against Gabe Kidd. I think Tsuji is my pick for the G1 this year, so he's got to drop this title. I'm going with Gabe Kidd for the win. Josh?
I think I'm gonna go with Gabe Kidd to win the title.
JJ?
This match could be this is gonna be a banger, yo. Sheesh. But
Yeah.
I gotta go Gabe Kidd on this one, man. He gotta capitalize and get a big moment, man. He gotta capitalize on that Omega heat, on that Omega shit, man. Now you get a strap.
They already had one of the best matches of the year, and that ended in a double knockout. So I think there's going to be a finish here, but yeah, I'm going with Gabe for the new champion. And you want to talk about bangers, JJ? Hiroki Goto will defend the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against the greatest IWGP World Heavyweight Champion of all time, Shingo Takagi. This should be an instant classic. This should be a match of the year candidate, but I'm going with the Goto Revolution continuing. Goto retains. JJ, who you got?
This looks like some real teacher versus student type match. But yes. Oh man. All right. I'm gonna go with the retention. I'm gonna go with the retaining. I don't want to, but I gotta listen to you on this one.
Josh?
I got the champion retaining.
All right, so check it out. It's tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. Eastern time for the U.S., 8 a.m. for me in the U.K., and of course, Japan. You can check it out on njpwworld.com. We'll be talking about that show on Monday with our review, and of course, we'll talk about it next week right here on the Flagship Podcast. But we've made it to the end of another edition of our Flagship Podcast. Got to thank Top Guy JJ for joining us this week, and of course, the True Jaw Josh for his return. JJ, to you first. Let everybody know where they can follow you on social media when they shall see you again.
It's crazy how 3:33 and we're 3 hours and 33 minutes in. But that's phenomenal. Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _Top Guy JJ. And on the YouTube channel, you can find me here. I might have to call out for Rated Raw because I'm getting a substitute call out for semi-annual sale that is starting in my store for Tuesday. So I might need you to get a substitute for that, but I definitely will be on for the following week for that. And for Tru Heel Heat, my appearance for July is going to be July 12th. If you guys are having the show that's day.
all in day. We'll be early. We'll be starting at 10.
So July 12th. Yes, I will still be in. I will be in parts unknown, so I will be a different location. So, but I will be on for that episode of Tru Heel Heat. But yeah. See y'all in about a week and a half. But yeah, fun times as usual.
Josh, over to you. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
You can follow me, JM Punk 321, Twitter and Instagram, and I also kind of started a new YouTube channel. It's been my channel, but I'm gonna start adding more content on my personal channel. Posting up more of my art stuff, and when I go to conventions, I'm gonna try to do more videos of that as well. So if you guys could subscribe to that, I really would appreciate that. I'll write it like in the comments here.
You start vlogging?
Huh?
Yeah. Vlogging? Nice.
Yeah. So, just to build up, have another platform to build up on. So, like anybody wants to, they want to follow me, they can follow me there. I already have 60 subscribers so far. So not too bad, better than I expected. So yeah.
There you go. Go over and support Josh for what he's doing with this new channel. He's got an intro video that's already up, and support his art over there as well. So yes, congratulations to you, good sir. And of course, you can follow me on the Twitter machine at Tru Heel SP3. You can follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at Tru Heel Heat, patreon.com/Tru Heel Heat. Check out our Okada Omega series, rewatch series. We'll have Dominion 2017 up next week with me and Jimmy watching that. But I will be back with y'all live on Monday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time, with our NJPW Dominion 2025 review with myself, Jay News, and Sanal. So join us for that then. But until then, check out all the great content we got on the channel right now from this past week. And of course, we'll be back for more. But until next time, this has been Tru Heel Heat 333 for Top Guy JJ, for the True Josh. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3, signing off until next time.
Eat a